Terrestrial life next time.
Hello, the worldwide web
We only
out
got one
there.
person, and that's Brandon.
So
Who's Brandon? Yeah.
let me turn your
Yeah, I
sound
can
off.
hear myself on
There we
your...
Did
go.
you? Did you start?
I did stir. I did stir. I stirred it.
I really need to know and learn all the lyrics to Les Mis songs just because I need to.
Les Mis songs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to look down on occasion. I got to do the Master of the House on occasion. And once upon a time, I had to dream a dream.
Split screen. Yeah.
I mean, you got a good chunk of them there.
We need to watch it.
Oh yeah, we're overdue for watching it.
What version do you do?
The 25th anniversary live.
I've not seen that one.
Oh, it's good.
You haven't seen the 25th one?
Mm-mm.
Best one.
Anyway, hi Jack out there. Cool. All right, are we ready to get started? I guess.
What are you eating?
Gummies. Oh, he got lifesaver gummies.
Lifesaver gummies.
Okay, so they're not gonna be crunching.
No crunches.
Nothing be crunching. Just
I know.
chewing like a camel.
Smeegs is finally back. We missed you, Smeegs.
I'm happy to be back too, Liz. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
I know where the priorities are at.
the best thing we can do is Gandalf's wand right here. Staff wand.
Were you not in the last one?
No,
No.
I was on the plane. I remember trying to watch a little bit right before I took
No, we
off.
think the last one he was in was 1800s
1800s
astronomy, maybe.
What, in the 1800s? Is that what you're saying?
In
That
the
long ago?
yeah, back
I
way
mean,
in the 1800s.
To be fair, I had a lot of fun on that show. That was a good one. That episode.
All right. Well,
Who actually is leading this? It's not me.
I'm leading it, and I keep trying to bring it back in. All right.
Do you?
Yeah, give me a countdown, Brandon, so we can get this show.
And
started.
then 5,
Because it says Mike.
4.
I just copied and pasted. I didn't. Hey everyone, welcome to Cosmos with Cosmos. I'm Liz.
I'm Steve.
Oh, Steve. So we have a new guest on the episode today. His name is Steve. Steve Mike.
Steve
I'm Brandon.
Mike.
I couldn't think of anything clever enough.
And Brandon is back with us
Hey.
this time. So
Like the last time in 2 months. We'll see.
Oh, well, according to Greg, it'll be the last time we see you for the next, 10 years. He keeps saying that. So, I guess you're going
he'll
to
come
get
back
going,
and he'll be
going to
like,
more places.
He'll have like a long Gandalf beard, and he'll be like, I'm
I'll be
from
wise
the
beyond my
future.
years of all these wonderful tales and stories, and somehow I get really into healing crystals, but they work somehow. It'd be great.
And he'll arrive precisely when he means to.
You know, really and truly, you should write that down, that next time you're on the show, you'll have a Gandalf beard, because we will forget, and that actually will be kind of
That's
fun.
funny.
You know,
It's
I'm
true.
thinking about going no shaving for 3 weeks while I'm out. So we'll see how that goes.
Wow.
That'll be
Okay.
interesting. Curious. All
I
right.
can't go 5 days.
Anyway,
Anywho,
we got a High in the Sky episode for ya. We're going to go talk about some stuff happening in the night sky for July, and then some recent astronomy news while we shoot the shit
Ooh.
here. But first, Mike, what are you drinking?
The Impossible Planet. I was going to call it something else that was just going to be stupid, but The Impossible Planet. And it has kiwi strawberry vodka because we are in summertime.
We are in summertime.
And it has hit Oak Ridge, Oregon, and really will hit Oak Ridge on Tuesday and Wednesday. But anyway, and it's got ginger beer, and top it off with cranberry juice. Give it a little bit of a additional flavor.
Nice, fruity,
delightful.
refreshing.
Yeah. What you got?
I am drinking a pink conjunction. Just like a conjunction that we'll talk about in the show, I have a conjunction of...
We're talking about grammar in the show.
Oh, God, no. A conjunction of grapefruit and orange-soaked tequila and Sprite.
Orange-soaked tequila.
Well,
nice.
tequila infused with oranges.
And then the Sprite.
At this point, yes, it's exactly what it is.
Pretty much. And a little orange slice in there. It's my
Very
my
nice.
favorite refreshing summer drink, which is otherwise known as a Paloma.
Yeah.
Or just go ahead and ruin the magic for us, Liz.
Sorry. Santa's not real. Brandon, what'd you got for us?
Without ruining the magic, my first drink, because I have one in the wings here, is the Overcast on Titan.
Oh.
Ooh, it is 2 kinds of whiskey bourbon with, what was it? Pinot Seal, sugar, bitters, orange, and a cherry. Don't ruin the magic. Don't say what it is.
Oh, that sounds just like a...
I like it as 2 different kinds of bourbon.
And then in the wings, we have Pulsars of Eternity, which is just freshly squeezed orange juice and vodka.
Pulsars of
Also
Eternity.
sounds like a... Never mind.
Sounds like, I don't know, good song name, band name.
Sounds like an asthma book. Oh, because
It does.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah.
I was thinking sci-fi, but I mean, you go with metal bands, but I was like, no, that's sci-fi.
Jack has a black raspberry iced tea with fresh picked berries
My God.
that were ripe as soon as when he got back from the conference. Oh, and Ron. Oh, you saw Ron at the conference, Stars for All conference. Well, if you want to find a gaggle, what's it? A constellation of planetarians.
There you go. We're gonna take that term back from Elon
That's
Musk.
a good one.
That's what a group of planetarians is called now. Officially, I decreed it a constellation.
Constellation. Well, you have the power. You're in leadership. You can do that.
Of just one organization.
But anyway, speaking of following and checking out cool planetarians, check out, if you're in the Council Bluffs, Iowa area, Jack's Planetarium, Rolling Bluffs Planetarium. He's the planetarian in the planetarium, so you can get a cool show from him. Also, Mr. Ron Proctor, check out the Mr. Proctor show. He does cool shit, talks about cool shit, makes cigar box guitars, and if you're feeling artsy, check out Wildixia, Wildixia on Etsy for some cool art. She'll do custom stuff. The one and only Katie Davison.
Has she approved that, by the way? I mean, I
well,
know
she's
not
done.
listening
She's done.
today,
She's
but...
taken. She's done. Oh, that's right, because she's visiting her friend. She's done commissions. She's taken commissions before.
Okay,
So
okay.
whatever. Give her work, people. Regardless of if she complains about it. All right, now of course we have some rules or some games, whatever
about
you
following
want.
us and all the things?
Oh yeah, follow us.
I mean, rules are just meant to be broken, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
fine.
true. Okay, follow us on all the things at
guidelines,
Drinking Cosmos
really.
on Twitter and Cosmos with Cosmos everywhere else. Check out the shot every other Wednesday. A little shot of astronomy science with us, and then tell your friends. Yeah. Now, while you're listening, if you hear any dogs barking, if we make any Lord of the Rings references, which hopefully we got a chunk out of the way earlier in our pre-show gaggle, or make any Star Wars references, take a drink.
Okay.
All right.
I think those are reasonable rules.
No special rules?
Well, what kind of special? We didn't think of a special
We
rule.
didn't think of
it's
a
just a
special
high
rule.
in the sky. So
we
it's
were
not
gonna
like,
we were gonna do these special rules, and we did it once,
Yeah,
and we have
new to me.
failed to do it since because we don't put any thought into
Well,
it.
I forgot about the special rule.
I mean, me too. Until I see this thing.
Anyway, transitioning
Anywho,
over to the night sky.
how do you transition? What's the sound you make
getting-
when you transition?
Doodaloo, doodle. That's my only
I
transition
knew-
sound I
I
got.
knew that was gonna be
That's
that
my
one.
only transition sound I got.
No, that's going back in
Back
time.
in time,
Yeah, that's
or
time travel.
That's back in
What is it if you go forward in time? Does it go?
Hoodoo, hoodoo, hoodoo. In fact, I think I did that when we talked something about the future at some point, and I did that.
I don't
Was there a
remember.
recent show?
I mean, I don't
know.
remember ever talking about the
That's
future, but I also don't
okay.
remember yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's
a fair point.
I'm
okay.
old.
Yeah.
so
You are the future.
I,
Yes, I don't know how that works.
I am death. I'm close to death.
Yeah.
Now you're the future. Wait. No, now you. No, now.
All
you're-
right. Well, in the
now you're-
future, when the sun sets,
Oh, nice.
the stars
nice.
come out, and you can check out some shit. We got the summertime sky coming up now. The problem, of course, with summer is that the way we've configured time to work is the sun doesn't set until very late in the evening. You know,
It's the worst.
I mean, it's generally past our bedtime unless it's the weekend. Which the worst is going to bed when it's still like daylight out. I'm like,
so we only have
85
like
years
the
old.
brightest object in the sky that we can see before we fall asleep.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you're
And then
staying
when you
up
wake
pretty
up,
late.
it's still up.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever. It just moves to the other side of the sky. That's all it does.
Yeah, but if you want to stay up late enough to where it gets dark enough out, especially if you're in a city area, then you really need to have your dark skies, and you get some of the brighter stars that come out and make some of the brighter constellations. Being in summertime now, the summer triangle is getting pretty high in the sky. Late in the evening, made up of it's an asterism, not an official constellation. We got Deneb, we got Vega, and we got Altair.
Mm-hmm.
As
a holy triumvirate.
A holy triumvirate of the summer.
Is it? Is it though?
And
it's
those,
a triumvirate.
And those are the brightest stars in their own respective constellations. Deneb in Cygnus the Swan. Vega in Lyra the Harp, and Altair in Aquila, or however you fucking pronounce it, the Eagle.
The Eagle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Cygnus is swimming through the Milky Way, so if you're in a really dark location, Cygnus and the Milky Way will be...
Yeah, check out a previous High in the Sky, or the story behind... old Cygnus the Swan. And...
I mean, I can drop down the Cygnus story in the end of the week, but yes, check those episodes out.
Yeah.
I think it was the last High in the Sky that we jumped into it.
Mm-hmm. But, being that it's July, and Cygnus the Swan is high in the sky now and very bright. Cygnus is the swan of the Greeks. The Greeks imagined it, and we took what the Greeks saw, because when constellations were being kind of officially mapped out by Europeans, they were super into Greek shit. So they were like, we'll just take from the Greeks because that's what we like. But different cultures see different things up there. And so there is a Japanese story about a princess.
Oh, that's right. We did not say that we were going to do this one. I forgot.
Okay, we forgot that we were supposed to do this, and I just thought about it, and so I'm a little bit rusty because I didn't refresh myself on the story.
We need
so
to do
I'm
it.
just letting you know.
We have to do it because in a couple of days it's today.
Horihime, and Hikoboshi,
and then the Sky Emperor.
The Sky Emperor,
who is
Bob.
You got the first letter. You got the first letter.
Tent.
You're so close.
Oh!
You got one syllable left.
Tente.
The Sky Emperor.
The Sky Emperor. Yes.
All right,
okay.
so we got the scene set here. You got the characters mostly in place. Let's do this.
So we have Orihime, which actually means princess in Japanese.
Oh, really?
Well, that's weird because she was like the princess of the sky.
Yeah, she was a princess. And one day she met a cow herder named Hikoboshi. And they fell in love. They were like, hey.
As one does.
You're cool. And we're cool with
they
each other.
got the vibe together. They were happy.
And so they fell in love, and they wanted to get married. Now here's where I'm getting a little bit rusty. Tente was like, hell no.
Tente is the Sky Emperor, mind you.
The Sky Emperor ruling the sky. Who's the dad? His princess, their royalty, is like a cow herder. I don't think so. You will marry, a royal bloodline, as princesses do, right? And so he, what did he do? He locked her away, or he sequestered her. He
separated them on each side of the river.
We are just butchering the story.
I know.
So Tente is like, no, I don't like this. I don't want you to see her. This is just completely forbidden. So he created the river and threw them on opposite sides of the river.
Like I said, put them on other sides of the river.
That's right.
I was right.
That's right.
Yeah, but then the names got confused, so I thought you were like Hikoboshi separated them, and I got very confused.
Oh, no. Tente.
The Sky Dad dude.
Across the river. But then Orihime, she was so sad She missed Hikoboshi. She couldn't see him. She loved him. And so then Tente permitted like one night a year.
One day of the year.
One day a year where they can meet.
And what is it then?
And cross the river. And that is Tanabata.
And on what day is it?
It is on July 7th.
July 7th.
And that is a festival that is celebrated in Japan in the summer.
How do they get to each other, though?
Oh, a bridge is formed by birds.
By magpies.
Magpies. They form the bridge once a year. It's like slowly coming back to me now, and I'm picturing it. And when we were in the planetarium, we had a little like show for little kids that had this story with like little animations that we had made, and so I'm like visualizing those animations coming in now.
I think in The Hangover we should redo this now that we have the story in our heads and like give it the good theatrical, take that it deserves.
That's a good idea. Or we could save it for a shot.
Oh, a shot would be good. We could do all the.
We could do all those for a shot.
Yeah. But that was always one of my favorites because it was
that
just
actually
like,
would be fun. We each pick one.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we do it.
And so in Japan, they visualize that story in the night sky with the Milky Way as the river, and Cygnus is Orihime.
Is it a festival of
or
lights?
if it's the stars that are. I think so.
I don't know about the Festival of Lights. I think that's something else, but
it might be.
Okay, I mean they do something, right?
Yeah.
I mean it's a big thing.
Yeah, it is is it like a week-long festival? I don't know.
July 7th. That's all I know.
Well, anyway.
That's all I know.
So it's coming up. Well, by the time this airs, it'll be
be done.
Oh,
they would have
it'll
met.
actually. Yeah.
Well, hey, on the Twitters, we'll celebrate Tanabata on Twitter with our rate limit. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. Anyway, so. Check out the Summer Triangle, sing to the Swan. Check out the Milky Way if you're in a very dark location, or go to it's the summertime. People are going camping. Camping is a good spot to see a really nice dark sky.
Or our house.
And find what's up there. Or our house. That's very true. What other summertime constellations are coming up now?
Hercules. You got Hercules.
Hercules
is up.
Hercules.
He's got the M13 in him.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, you just got a little. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I guess the correct pronunciation would be Heracles because
well,
it's Mother's era.
If it's Greek, Greek is Heracles.
But I'm American. Say it all how I want to say
Hercules?
it. Heracles, Hercules, Cles. He's up there. He's got M13.
Oh, you mean Huncules. Sorry.
Scorpius is up with Antares, Sagittarius, center of the Milky
in fact,
Way.
I
right
was
between
letting Leia out to go to the bathroom in the evening the other night.
We forced our kids to pee outside.
After midnight, and I looked over to like the southeast, I guess.
That's pretty south at this point. I mean, because
I can't tell, but it was in the south,
trees.
and it was rising. It was rising over some trees, and I saw Antares.
so
and the head of Scorpius was a line of stars.
Yeah, it's more south. It's more south for us because the trees are really big southeast. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, by the time I go to bed, I'll see like Venus. Like, no, I'm going to bed now.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Venus is very bright in the evening sky, still heading towards the west at sunset and after sunset.
It's diving. I don't know which way it's going.
No, it's going down. Yeah. I think. It's going down.
Oh yeah, Venus is going down.
It's
right.
going down. But on July 9th, it's going to be at its greatest of brightness. So that means it's going to be in a full phase, essentially. So Venus goes through phases like our moon from our perspective. And that's actually one of the ways that Galileo was like, hey, this helps confirm Copernicus's theory that the sun was at the center of the solar system, because if it wasn't, then we shouldn't be able to see Venus going through phases like our moon does. And so when it's, in like a new Venus or a very like a crescent phase, then it's going to be dimmer because, less light output. Yeah. And then when it's full, just like the full moon, it's going to be a lot brighter. So July 9th.
Now, little slight tangent, I suppose. So when you look at the moon in phases, looking out through a telescope, it's best to look at the moon when it's like at a half phase or crescent
less,
phase,
yeah.
so you can see all the mountains and depth behind it. But with Venus, for example, you probably want to look at Venus when it's at full brightness instead.
Yeah, because I mean, Venus has that very thick carbon dioxide atmosphere, and so it's not like you're going to be able to see any kind of surface relief like you will with the moon, with shadows being cast on it between the nighttime side and the daytime side from that Terminator line. On Venus, I mean, you just have the clouds, and so you want those clouds to be illuminated in their fullest.
Yeah, can you see definition in the clouds? Or do you need like big ass telescope?
You probably have to have a big ass telescope
for that one. Or it's a nice satellite orbiting it. But I did just create a fan theory in my head about Pat Benatar. I think Shadows of the Night is actually about shadows on the moon.
All right. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, however, okay, so you may not be able to see like definition without a large telescope with Venus, but for Jupiter, for example, because Jupiter has some very stark, those belts and bands in its atmosphere that have like very stark color differences for us, and they're very dramatic. You can see those through not just a big telescope. You can have like a smaller telescope to be able to see those. Anyway, back to Venus. Venus and Mars are going to be hanging out in July. They're going to have a close conjunction with the moon, July 4th and 5th. So if you're watching this live now, you'll know about it. If you're listening to this after the fact, well,
you've missed out.
Cool.
It'll still be close-ish. Wait, no, I take that back.
No, Venus is cruising. The moon really is cruising. So
yeah. So I guess happy Independence Day, America, from Venus and Mars and their.
Don't get me started on Independence Day.
In their conjunction.
Oh, I mean, what? Why did it doesn't matter? I was gonna go on the whole tangent about Jeff Goldblum, but it's fine.
No. I was reading Jack's thing on the. Okay, Venus crescent is good in an 8-inch scope. All right, cool.
It's actually gonna be a crescent at its brightest.
Oh, why didn't you correct me earlier? Why'd you just let me go on? Like, I know what I'm talking about.
I had to look it up.
I trusted you.
I looked it up, and then you were really far beyond. So yeah, no, I had to look it up. It's counterintuitive.
Yeah. See, okay.
But when I said it's crescent,
I retract everything I have said.
But it's closer to us.
Oh, that's why it's brighter.
And so the crescent, when you look at the crescent in a telescope, it's huge compared to when it's at the full phase. But yeah, it's very counterintuitive. Because you think of the moon. You think of the moon.
I was thinking of the moon. I was doing a little moon planetary comparatology.
I like that.
Comparatology.
And I didn't know for sure. I had to look it up. I looked it up. And brightest at crescent phase.
God, I need to get back into Planetarium again.
You had moved on.
I'm losing it.
Like, sometimes people will ask me simple questions, like, how far away is Jupiter?
Oh, shit, right?
220 million? I don't know. Oh, my God.
Those little things that you don't remember because you're not talking about them all the time.
Well, from Earth, it's between 400 and 600 million miles.
Unless you're Mike George. Then you remember all.
Of course, because he's fancy physics man.
I do not.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, we have a July birthday coming up for said fancy physics man.
Fancy physics.
And we have a birthday present for fancy physics man where Mercury will be just to the left of a thin crescent moon with Venus on July 18th in the west. So look for the crescent moon. And Mercury's just going to be to the left of it.
You know, and anytime you get a glimpse of Mercury, it feels like a gift. I just like seeing Mercury out there.
It's just so hard to spot Mercury because it's closest planet to the sun. It sticks close to the sun in the sky, so the sun drowns it out.
One of my first... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So one of my first sky ventures when I went out to look for specific moments was in 2012-ish when Mercury was going across the sun there. And I remember about where the welder's mask to go look at it and to see if I could see it.
Did you see it?
Probably not. Not with the Whalers mask. I was in the planetarium at that time, so I had the nice glasses to throw on.
Was
Did
fair.
did we see Mercury at the solar eclipse?
I think so.
Ooh.
Yeah, if I remember right, it would have been down.
I think so. I think you were. I think I vaguely remember you pointing it out, or you were being like, "I think that's Mercury," and then you were like, "Yeah, that's Mercury."
Yeah. All I was gonna say before Brandon was talking about Mercury was on the 4th and 5th, the moon is with Venus and Mars, and then 2 weeks later, it's with Mercury and the moon. Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering the motion of the moon with that. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to look it up on my planetarium software.
Hey.
I got. Ooh. Stellarium, I assume.
I'm a Digistar man.
And then, well, for Mercury, that isn't going to be the best time to even necessarily see it, but July 31st, it's going to be at its highest peak altitude in the sky. So it's going to be able to, it has its greatest elongation, separation from the sky.
Is that Western or Eastern?
Yes.
It's just greatest elongation. Okay, cool.
Yeah. In the evening sky. It's in the evening sky. It's in the west. It's in the evening sky.
Yeah, so it'll be east of the sun. But in the western sky.
Yeah, in the western sky.
All right.
But not just those planets. Saturn in the early evening on July 7th will be near the moon.
Basically, find a moon, you'll find a planet.
Yeah, pretty much. July, find the moon.
Find a planet. Except for Jupiter. So it was just like, I'm going to do my own thing because I'm Jupiter.
Fucking Jupies. Goddamn Jupies.
We'll talk about Jupy Dupes later.
Yes, we will. Some other shit that's going on is just a little minor meteor shower.
But we might notice it kind of well.
The Delta Awkward meteor shower, July 29th through July 30th. So at the end of the month, there's about 10 meteors per hour. So it's not hugely active or anything, but if you're in a dark area, and you want to see
Oak Ridge.
Yeah, you want to look at a meteor shower, or you got nothing to do, you just want to enjoy looking at the sky, it's a good time to just go enjoy looking at the sky and catch some meteors while you're at it.
Catch them with baseball gloves?
Yes. Yeah.
Or you can catch a falling star.
They're gonna be coming in hot though.
Yeah, they will.
Nice. Or you can catch a falling star and put it in your pocket and
make a wish
for a rainy day. No one's getting that. All right, Jack's got me probably.
No.
I'm turning 35.
You don't know the song?
No. What song is it?
It's catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Save it for a rainy day. That's all I remember.
Is this like a kid song?
No, I don't think it was necessarily. And it is now, but I think back in like the 40s it wasn't.
Oh, it's a 40s song.
Okay.
Why would I know this song?
It's been around
because
for a
it's
while.
from the 40s. It was in the 40s. And Brandon's from the 40s.
It's fair. It's very fair. Very fair.
Yes, I am turning 35. It was big in the 70s.
Oh, the 70s?
Man,
hell yeah.
Nobody's
Brandon's
saying
from the 70s. Actually,
I am not from the 70s.
From the 60s.
No, you're from the 40s.
I might be from the
1840s.
early 60s at best. But yeah.
That's an AM radio song right there.
But to be fair, AM radio does give you the good crackling sound behind everything, so that's a good characteristic to it.
That is fun. Is any of that crackling the Big Bang?
Probably.
That's just on the TV.
Oh, probably, maybe, yeah.
Like 0.5 of 1%.
If that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Big Bangs,
Boom.
Astronomy
Hey.
news. Astronomy news.
Whoa.
Astronomy news. Astronomy news.
Big news, actually. A lot of cool news this
We
week.
got some news. All right. But what just came out yesterday, because the first topic we have is James Webb. But James Webb just released a picture of Saturn yesterday.
We're getting there. You don't read.
Oh,
the
you
notes,
added
do
it?
you?
Oh, Well,
That's
I
why I got
made
my
most.
shirt on.
I made most of the notes. I like that shirt.
Well, to be fair, she made the notes originally.
Oh, it's right underneath.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
And then prepared everything else for the podcast, and you come in later and sneak that shit in.
Fragments of a sentence. I had a couple conjunctions, and that's it.
All right. Okay. Well, first pictures of Saturn from James W. Webb yesterday. Breaking news. So. I was trying to think of a breaking news sound effect I could do with my voice, but I couldn't. The near infrared camera captured the image of Saturn, and it's so pretty. It's just like this nice.
20 hours? It's 20-hour shot?
I didn't know. 20 hours. I mean, the rings are so, like, bright. They're so lit up. It just looks like this gold.
I love how it looks
beauty.
Gorgeous. Like, we're supposed to actually say that. Which you just did.
Looks gorgeous.
In the notes, looks gorgeous. We got to say it. Looks gorgeous.
That's the view of it. It looks gorgeous.
It does
so
look.
everybody
it's
Google
amazing.
James Webb Space Telescope Saturn pictures. In fact, my mom sent it to me yesterday. She was like, check. And then at first I was like, wait, is this one of those like fake bullshit pictures you found on the internet? And then I was like, wait, is this from James Webb? And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. So then I Googled it and I was like, all right, it's legitimate.
Yeah, no, she's always watching for that stuff, and she'll send us any kind of news, any kind of pictures. She sends us all that, and I try to be a good son-in-law and do the same thing every once in a while. Well, I would try to do the same thing because I get all the JPL emails and stuff, but 90% of the time I forget to do it.
She forgives you. In other James Webb Space Telescope news, it has found signs of an essential carbon molecule in a planet-forming disk.
A molecule in a planet-forming disk. How many light years away? That's amazing.
I did not get the light years of it, but the molecule is methanium, which is also known as methylcation. It's a carbon compound that's thought to play an important role in organic chemistry by helping to build more complex carbon molecules, which are the foundations to life as we know it.
My God.
So, I mean, very sensitive instruments to be able to find a molecule in a disk of debris, a planet-forming disk. This is not a calm area. This is like just you have all this dust and gas that's swirling around, creating a planet.
And by the way, they found it in our favorite nebula.
Oh, it was in Orion.
It's in the Orion Nebula.
Which is a hotbed of, a stellar formation and planetary birth.
And if you go back to listen to the Orion Nebula episode, hot dogs apparently.
And hot dog.
That's a deep cut, folks.
That was very deep. Wow, that was.
And on Tuesday, we're having hot dogs.
We're
gonna call them. I guess we should call them Orion Nebula hot dogs.
Orion dogs.
We started a hot dog company called Orion Nebula hot dogs.
Orion Sword. Canis Majors hot dogs,
yeah.
because they were the dogs of Orion.
Do you really want to do that though? That's
Nope,
weird.
Nope. But anyway, this is exciting because it's like, look, these all the shit that's inside of us is we can find it out there elsewhere in the universe,
all the
coming
shit
together.
Yeah,
all the stuff that makes us, that makes bugs do things and plants do things, like exist. We're starting to find that stuff elsewhere out there that's also coming together, and we can learn about our solar system's formation and evolution, and maybe find
This isn't
something
as
else.
poetic as you were getting at, but that reminds me of one of my favorite Star Trek Voyager quotes is Janeway's looking out to a nebula, and she goes, "There's coffee in that nebula," which technically, yes.
That's great. There's coffee in that nebula.
Also, there's vodka.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of
formaldehyde.
Which, my vodka has risen to the top of my drink, so this is going to be a hell of a sip.
Let's watch them. Let's
What
watch
has
Brandon. Watch if you're listening
So
on the podcast.
I'm looking at my drink, and I
Come
can
watch on
see
YouTube to see him.
there's clearness. There's about a quarter inch clearness before it gets to the orange juice. So I think all the vodka has risen to the top.
Is clearness a word?
So we're gonna see how this goes.
We're gonna be talking politics before the end of this episode.
No, so what happened? The ice rose to the top and melted, and
Oh,
then
so
pushed
it's just
all
water.
the OJ
So it's
about
just
the dance.
water.
I just drank water. It was the anticlimax.
All right.
What's up next?
All right. Well, okay. So we got organic chemistry possibly going on in planet forming disks. But the organic chemistry here on Earth, you everybody can help find asteroids.
Oh, nice transition. I like what you did there.
There's a asteroid hunting mission that is looking for assistance of just people that are like, hey, I got some free time. I can help look around for asteroids.
Brandon has a lot of free time.
NEO's surveyor would complement ground-based asteroid hunting work by looking for near-Earth objects from a place in space, aimed to finding 90% of city killer-sized asteroids.
Can I just take a little detour for a moment?
Please do.
When
I was gonna do the same thing.
When we did Attack of the Killer Space Rocks at Dorrance, my favorite section was blowing up Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
You have mentioned that many times.
Yeah, and it was all centered on Arizona Science Center.
Very Freudian.
Yep. Yep.
Well, us humans, what do? We slow down to look at the car wrecks. We like explosions. America's obsessed with guns.
Don't slow down. I want to keep my traffic flowing.
But
it means you need to slow down because everybody else is slowing down.
But you're not going to be able to be, fascinated with all the death and destruction when it comes for you and hits your city. And asteroids are a big threat to the Earth, and
that's why we moved to Oak Ridge, not a big city.
That's true. That's
so the asteroids are just going to ignore us.
I mean, depends on how big that asteroid is and the nuclear winter fallout that happens afterwards. But okay, the way that you can help, if you have some free time, is write a letter to your congressman and tell them to fund the NEO surveyor.
And there's a couple easy ways to do that. Of course, you can check out Planetary Society. They'll have templates you can use, fill in the name, fill in that XYZ. You can, so there are lots of different ways to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to use a phone at all. You can just submit something online.
Phone, it will annoy their assistants, and the assistants eventually bubble up to the congressman. So I suggest doing that.
Oh, okay. So you want to help fund this planetary defense mission.
Just annoy the fuck out of them.
Yeah. Along with all the other things that you can call them about, like women's rights.
To be fair, finding the asteroids is slow down on the totem pole of what the hell they need to do and do better.
True, but at the same time, it is kind of an unseen threat because if they're coming from the direction of the sun, we're kind of fucked if it's a big one.
Do we need to go back to Russia to
Chelyabinsk?
Yeah.
Chelyabinsk.
I got yelled at for that, so that's how I know.
Chelyabinsk.
Oh, who yelled at you?
It was a Russian lady who came in to see a show, and I call it Chelyabinsk, and she goes, "I really enjoyed the show, but you named the town wrong," and she went out after me for like 5 minutes about how to pronounce it.
And then you go, "Lady, American, we don't know how to pronounce shit. That's foreign."
We won the space race.
Yeah, we beat you to the moon. We have the right.
This is the only Russian accent I can do.
Volga. The way we want to call it.
Volga. Chelyabinsk.
One of the books I'm reading has a Russian narrator, and they write as if he has the grammar of a Russian. So I try to have it in my head, but I still can't say it.
What's the book?
I've never read it before, so I felt it was time to do it. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress.
Okay.
It's a seminal work of science fiction.
That's a nice title.
Isn't it?
Man.
Because when I finish the book that I'm reading now, I need to move in a different direction. Oh. And it was gonna be Red Mars, Blue Mars, Green, Blue.
Join us in The Hangover as we decide Mike George's next book.
Yeah, and I'm also reading a book, but you can find out what that is in The Hangover.
I'm so excited.
But
she is.
But for right now, we have some monsters.
Oh, this is the coolest news of the week. I'm so excited, and I feel this is a Mike George topic.
Yes. Do you want to take this one?
No, I'll let you take it.
Okay. Monster, you can expand upon it when I don't know what I'm talking about. monster gravitational waves have been spotted for the first time.
There are
right.
monsters in the cosmos.
Using pulsars, basically they had tracked changes in the distance. Pulsars, by the way, are like standard. Are they the standard candles, pulsars?
Not necessarily standard candles, but they keep time very well.
Yeah, they have
yeah.
Yeah, their spinning frequency basically is the
Yeah.
same, and you can.
Yeah, and so when they slow down and speed up, you know something's going around it.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, you can keep track of how fast they spin by a hydrogen molecule and see how fast they go, and you can track it.
There you go.
They're very specific in their rotations.
Basically, astronomers have been tracking the distance between Earth and pulsars, and it's showing that basically space is being stretched and squeezed.
So our distance between the two changes.
Is changing,
but slightly, but enough for us.
But enough to measure it. And so essentially it is gravitational waves that's causing this sort of jiggling that the Earth is experiencing, like ripples through a pond going through the universe.
Even better.
You know, it is, that's what's happening. And there's more data that needs to be collected, but there's different collaborations that have been going on using this pulsar data, and then they're using these massive radio telescopes here on Earth to monitor these, they're called 9-millisecond pulsars. So very fast.
That's so fucking fast.
There's also teams in Europe, India, and Australia, and China that are making similar observations. So you have like three, I didn't write down the specific groups here in America that were doing it. And so they're basically finding that there are pairs of black holes at the centers of galaxies that are orbiting each other, doing this dance, and that interaction between them are causing these huge gravitational waves to go out through the universe.
Did they confirm that they were black holes in the center of the galaxies causing this?
Well, these are black holes that can be up to billions of times the mass.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something magical.
And the article that I read did say in the hearts of galaxies. So
what else could it be?
Yeah. You know, so you have binary, supermassive binary black hole pairs that are in orbit, having a dance, and that, you know, that gravity between them and everything is just causing these just huge gravity waves to go out through the universe, and we are feeling it.
You know what's
very
crazy
minutely
is that we're able to measure it.
Yes.
That distance because
yeah.
Because there aren't just two. I mean, the separation, the change in distance, can't be that much, and so to be able to, because if it's a lot, it's gonna rip us apart. You know, it can't be too big. So you know, you're talking small changes in separation. So we're able to pick that out. We're able to determine that change in distance based on how we're moving, how galaxies are moving relative to each other. Brandon has his hand up. He wants to say something. Go ahead.
I have a question for Fancy Physics Man. So when you say it's moving back and forth, but not enough to destroy this, how big of a wavelength of a difference are we looking at in these ripples in space? Microns here? Are we measuring microns or what?
Yeah, you're talking.
I don't know what I know that, like, for example, LIGO, when it detected gravitational waves for the first time, and it was the big groundbreaking, these things exist, Einstein was right once again. That was from two black holes merging together, but they weren't like, you know, and that caused like very low frequency gravitational waves that LIGO was sensitive enough to detect, whereas apparently the detection of these gravitational waves, like, these are a lot bigger waves than the ones that LIGO had detected.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, but still, I mean, you're still
longer or bigger?
Whatever the correct terminology to use when describing waves.
I would think amplitude. Because the waves are going to be, the frequency of the waves is a measure kind of how far the black holes are from each other. So you're probably talking amplitude, and so amplitude definitely is going to be to measure the strength of the wave. Like if it hits you, that's not if you're at the ocean and you're sitting out in the ocean and you get knocked over by a wave. You're not knocked over by the small waves. You're knocked over by the bigger ones, which have the larger amplitude, so they're taller.
I don't know. I'm pretty weak.
Well, okay, for you, little waves. For me, I have a above average girth.
You saved Katie's ex-boyfriend from the waves in Hawaii.
Oh, I did.
He was getting pummeled by some waves.
I
and
was.
Came over and just grabbed him and
I
dragged
grabbed
him
him
out.
and walked him out of the ocean.
That's hilarious.
I mean,
It was
he
adorable.
was having the most difficult. I forgot about that. He was having the most difficult time.
He even said to you, "You're like, you saved me." He was like, "You saved me."
Yeah, and so I mean, my girth has helped me on a couple times, but yeah, I mean, yeah. So you're not talking, but the wavelength itself probably isn't all that great. But even the amplitude, though, is not going to be enough to. But also, though, is you don't have just two black holes in the universe going around each other. There's a lot more.
There's all these, it's all
And
these
so-
black holes that are, in orbit.
And so you get constructive and deconstructive interference with these gravitational waves, and so
Man, people are smart. People
What?
are real smart, and
People
also
are-
real dumb, but
yeah,
real smart.
it's a very extreme.
but
spectrum.
to be able to measure it amongst all the other, I mean, just noise.
Yeah, and
that's
also
out
to
there
think
is
about,
amazing.
hey, let's see if if our distance between pulsars is changing, and what
Now-
that could mean.
There was another bit I was reading about, which maybe Fancy Physics Man could chime me in here. We couldn't make these measurements before because we didn't know the exact position of Jupiter. Is that ringing the bell?
That does not ring a bell.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So
interesting.
From what I read, one of the main drawbacks of not being able to make this measurement earlier is that we didn't know exactly where Jupiter was in the sky. But now, of course, since our instruments have advanced in the last James Webb, we know exactly the measurements of where Jupiter is supposed to be, so we can tell where these wavelengths are coming from, and at that point, we can discern.
I would think that it would have to be because we know where Jupiter is. You can predict where Jupiter is. But
I think it was within 100 meters.
that, yeah. I mean,
Within
that's
100
what I was
meters.
going to say. Like, there was going to be, it would have to be like,
It's not like within 2,000 miles or two light years. No, within like a football field distance of where Jupiter is.
no, okay, I get that. I can completely say yeah to that. I get that. I understand that. I mean, because when you say Jupiter's right there and you point to it and you give
Right.
coordinates for it, there's still a little bit of error associated with
Right.
it, and so well, good. Our technology's gotten good enough to where we can really pin down where the planets are.
Well, I would hope so, given that we can measure apparently our distance between pulsars changing.
I just
That
think
sounds
that's really
like
cool.
that sounds like an impossible task, Liz.
You would think so, but it's not. And it's not the only impossible thing that exists in space. There's been an impossible planet found, ladies and gentlemen.
My drink.
An impossible planet. It is a Jupy-Jupes-like planet, so a large gas giant-esque
All right.
of a planet. It is 520 light years away,
Super close.
and its name is Hala.
Challah. Wait, the challah or like the good bread challah?
How's the bread spelled? Because it's Halla.
Oh, the challah is CH.
It could be a survivor planet, a planet that shouldn't have existed. It should have been destroyed, but it's possible it survived its host star running out of hydrogen and beginning helium fusion and expanding out, essentially out to its orbit. So the star inflated up to 1.5 times the planet's current orbital distance before it has shrunk down to its current size, which means it engulfed the planet. A star engulfed the planet, and the planet survived it.
Challah. So hot right now.
Which is pretty unlikely for that to happen.
It's unlikely, but not
especially a gas
impossible.
giant.
Because for example, when the sun goes red giant eventually, it will swallow Mercury, Venus, and it will get the Earth as well. But for a while, the Earth will still orbit within that atmosphere. So if you have the correct planet with the correct star, it's very unlikely, but it's possible for it to survive after it contracts.
It's a very thin atmosphere.
Yeah. The star is Byaku, and the planet is about half the distance between the Earth and the Sun orbit.
Byaku. That's a good science fiction name.
Byaku.
The world of Byaku.
The other scenario, however, because they don't know this for sure, this is just a hypothesis.
This is even cooler.
The other scenario is that it is a second generation planet that had formed from the dust cloud after two binary stars collided.
So
now, go ahead.
No, is Byaku is a star that's currently there?
Yes.
Do they know that it was a binary?
No, but the majority of stars are binaries.
Well, no, okay, that is true, but that doesn't mean that...
Well, I did not... If they did, I missed that and didn't read that part of it. But that was another scenario that was submitted in the saying, like, hey, it's pretty impossible for this planet to have existed, this violent transformation of the star. So another possibility is that there were two binary stars that collided, and this planet formed after that collision, and that's why it's able to be in, there.
I love this.
At that distance.
I'm going to go back to a science fiction world for a moment here. So I love the idea of a planet forming after a red supergiant, and it forms a planet in its inner core-ish area. Not in the core, but inner area. But then farther in distance, there was a world like got singed to death, but there are still remnants of a civilization. So like another life form comes on this inner planet and goes to explore the other planet. Like, what the hell happened?
That would be wild. Imagine that if we went to Europa, or whatever, and there was like...
That's so cool.
And then it's like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
What went on here?
Gene Roddenberry Jr., give me a call. I got a planet they got to explore.
So that's impossible. So
Eugene,
we have
his name's Eugene.
We have an interesting scenario with this planet that has been found.
So which one do you think is the more likely scenario?
The more likely scenario?
Binaries that collide, or that it survived going the puffing out.
I would say probably binaries that collide.
Oh, I think the opposite.
What do you think, fancy physics man?
Break the tie. What you says go.
I feel like the former is a little more, so that the star has swollen up. I mean, because it's a very thin atmosphere. It's very wispy out there. It's not like you think it is, like with how our sun is right now, where it really is.
Okay, yeah, because it's puffing off those outer layers of gas and dust, basically.
You still have the same amount of mass, and now it's like really, and so it's very thin, so I think the planet could actually move through it easier. I mean, sure, there's going to be some drag, and it's going to have some long-term issues with it. But it also gives me hope for the Earth, but it will be long dead anyway.
Yeah.
But
just the temperatures alone.
To me, just I don't know. I need somebody to. Okay, how do you know there were two stars? What was the mechanics in which they collided? And this, how big is this star?
There's got to be a way, right?
No, there's a way. I mean, anything is possible within the laws of physics, and so if
that's not true. Oh, within the laws of physics. Sorry. Yes.
If it's possible within the laws of physics, given the number, given how large the universe is, how many stars there are in the universe, how many planets there are.
How many times the cosmos has existed? Yes.
Okay, so
then the second scenario has happened more than once, and so but for this particular star, I guess to make me more inclined for the second scenario, like how old is the star, what's the mass of the star currently, because the
I didn't look up that
because
that information.
the
I
impact
wasn't
of the
expecting
two
this
stars.
kind of degree of inquiry.
Interrogation.
Yeah, the impact of the two stars, they're basically going to merge, and so
Will
how
they merge
big is
into
the
a
star?
red giant?
I mean, it's going to. Okay, so if you have two Sun-Earth stars, you're basically going to create a star that is twice the mass of the Sun. That definitely changes its evolutionary track. So, are these smaller than the Sun? Are they bigger? Is Biaku? Is it was it bigger than the Sun? I mean, if you have two stars that combined and survived, well, the smaller star fell into the bigger one, basically. And so I just have more questions to make me, and it's the lack of knowledge of those questions, or I mean the answers to those questions, that makes me then want to accept the first scenario where it's just going through the outer atmosphere, just because it seems safer to me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, give me more information. I'll take that second scenario.
I'll find the article and send it to you.
Yeah,
I'm just
the very first
paraphrased.
planets discovered were around a pulsar, which raised this whole second generation planets question, because the planets, I think there were 3 planets, and those planets, how did they survive a supernova explosion to make the pulsar? So it's not unheard of that you can have these second generation planets that form. You just need to know the details of what happened first.
I love the construct of time and how long these events would take to create a second generation planet.
Oh yeah,
Just mind blowing. I love it.
Yeah, but planet formation. Okay, I mean, 100 million
In the
years?
grand cosmic scale, planet formation is
quick.
Very quick. It's very quick. It's like you making a little breakfast sandwich. Crack the egg open, destroy the first planet, a sandwich, and there you go. It's like a 5-minute deal.
Yeah, no, this is crazy to think about, and it has implications for our solar system, in particular the Earth, because the question is with the Earth is, okay, the sun's gonna
it's
puff
gonna get
out,
too hot.
and it's gonna get too hot, so life's not gonna be here.
Yeah.
No.
So
life as we know it. I think life, in some extent, will exist somewhere deep inside
the Earth.
Tardigrades?
Yes.
Okay, all right, but
Microbes,
Well,
little
there
things
will
that
be no more water.
yeah, but I mean, this has real world implications for Earth, because this scenario is going to happen where the sun is going to become a red giant, and so what's going to happen to the Earth? Are we able to,
Could we
make
build
it through?
something that could push the Earth further out?
Okay, so there's a
It's big
great
rocket
show on
engine.
Netflix about that. So yes, there is.
Okay.
I think they took like 18 point whatever million Saturn V rockets to push the Earth out of the orbit. It's a Chinese show.
How many nukes do we have? Can we convert them all?
Oh, you don't want nukes.
You don't
Yeah,
want
can
nukes.
we
You want an
convert
engine.
them?
Yeah, you
You
definitely
want some
want an
world
engine.
engine.
Start digging.
But it's all just a matter of scale. If you can push an asteroid, you're not wanting to impact to push the Earth.
No,
Because
that's
that just
not
kills
that's
everything.
not the method.
You actually
If you
want
can
that.
dodge a wrench, you can dodge a star.
You're gonna want an engine to push.
Well, we got a lot of energy in our core.
But it also can't
We've
be.
been working out the last 4 billion years. We got this.
Been pumping iron.
But it can't be high impulse. It needs to be. All right, so
Low and consistent.
if you fire an engine
Too fast. We're all
that
like,
is so
whoa!
well, but not
Put
only
your
that.
seatbelts on, everyone. Whoa! Like we're on a bus when the bus starts going.
Yeah, but
This
not
is
only
a hangover.
but not only that, you don't want it shooting through the Earth either. So just slow and steady pushes us out.
We better get started on it now because it's going to take us a
That's why
while.
you make like So why make all of South America an engine to push us out?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Meanwhile, all of South America is like, well, what about us?
Low warp.
Low warp. That's
Low
the way
warp.
to go.
We need low warp.
Which
maybe
would
we
do
can,
in the next 20 years for the Vulcans to contact us.
Maybe SpaceX can provide us with some low warp technology now that they're going
I see what you're doing.
a little European for our next bit of news.
Whew.
Jesus.
Right, we went off there.
SpaceX is launching ESA's Euclid spacecraft
Hell yeah.
on a Falcon 9 on July 21st. So coming up here.
First or 21st?
21st.
Oh, yeah, first.
Oh, July 1st on today? What day is today? Yesterday? I guess yesterday.
Is today the 2nd?
Today's the 2nd.
Motherfucker.
Jesus. Okay. Well, I guess it happened
What is
already.
time?
And it's gonna hang out where James Webb is chilling at the L2 point, and it's gonna be studying dark energy.
Well, it's about time.
Now the problem for ESA was they didn't have any launch vehicles available for this launch,
Really?
and so they had to get a little help from.
Which is absolutely fine. I like when space companies come together to,
But
better society in general.
NASA is actually a partner in this Euclid mission anyway. NASA has supplied some infrared detectors for one of its instruments. And so because we were already a partner, then, I guess NASA would be like, all right.
You can't say because NASA's already a partner. SpaceX is completely private. Of course, it has contracts with NASA, but SpaceX launches an incredible amount.
Are those contracts? What's the word I'm looking for? Like where they can only work with NASA?
No, not
like
at all.
Exclusionary.
Not at all. They've worked with a variety of customers. And say what you will about the owner, and I will agree with you. Whatever you say about them,
love them.
Not that.
No, I absolutely hate them. Liz knows. She looked at me, but she knows.
But SpaceX itself has been just a revelation. It's been phenomenal. It launches once a week. It's launched within 12 hours, 2 hours of each other on different coasts.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful utility to have, and I'm very glad that Glenn Shotwell is mostly in charge of it and not the other person.
Yeah.
So the head of ESA recently said, "I'm so happy that we got 2 launches within 2 months of each other. I can get used to this." Which, having talked to them, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 launches within 2 months was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But now SpaceX is doing that weekly launches. So the cadence that they're providing, honestly, is just an absolute boom. So I'm very happy that they've been successful. So yes, the Euclid spacecraft launched on a SpaceX rocket because they have the cadence and availability to do that. So I absolutely love that. I don't care for the rockets, but I love what they're able to provide to low Earth and beyond orbit.
Mm-hmm. Well, which is more access because they have the money to put into it, basically.
That's why rockets exist, is the access.
Yeah, I mean,
And because we know we'll get the question, even though it's hanging out at L2 with James Webb, it's not going to impact James Webb.
No.
Oh, yeah, no.
L2 is a big place.
That would be... There's room for both of them out there.
Yeah, because
there could be only one. They have a little shootout, a little high noon shootout over at L2.
But they're like stormtroopers. They keep missing.
And it takes 5 hours for that thing to get them. It's like asteroids.
And now, in addition to some, space companies, Brandon has a little news item added in here for us.
Shit, I was going to take a drink, but I'm ready to go now.
Well, go.
Yeah, so now we have another space company that was founded, I guess, technically slightly after, around the same time, because SpaceX was founded like 2002-ish, technically. So Virgin Galactic, folks. Virgin Galactic finally got its first paying customers up into space after 20 years of trying, of developments.
Wow.
They did it.
A very long time.
Let's take a drink.
Good job,
Take a
Virgin
drink.
Galactic.
Good job, guys.
Richard Branson.
Oh man, my button's not working.
All right. Anyway,
There it goes.
cheers.
But I don't appreciate you not hiring me that one time 3 years ago. Anyway, so they finally got people. They finally got folks that paid up into space. They had 3 Italian researchers. So Federico, this is another drink for you.
Oh, okay.
I'm out. Oh wait, I have this one over here.
Well, that's a fault in planning. Of course, the 2 pilots and 1 astronaut trainee. And it is honestly the first flight they've taken in over 2 years because they've been prepping the Unity spacecraft for improvements, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big deal. Finally, the Virgin Galactic, after 20 years, got paying customers into space.
How much do they pay?
$4.
A lot, probably a lot more than Blue Origin people.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming
Okay.
because this is the first, and they've been trying for 20 years, and they have
Yeah.
a lot of cost to recoup.
Oh my gosh. Well, good job.
Would you do it? First flight, would you do it?
No, I would fly with Blue Origin. I don't think I would fly with. I would, but I would prefer Blue Origin
If it was free.
because there are so many fail safes in Blue Origin. You can eject, their parachutes, retro rockets, but with Virgin, not so much. But that said, I would still fly with both of them. In case one of them I apply for and they look back in this podcast, I would fly with both of them. They're both equally very safe.
Well done, Brandon.
Oh man.
Well done. Well, we've learned about conjunctions in today's episode.
What are their functions?
We've learned about
Don't sue us, PBS.
that the Venus at its brightest is in a crescent phase and not a full phase, which is counterintuitive.
I already forgot about that.
to that kind of shit. We have found we've seen.
I also love Liz's shirt, by the way. Those of you on the podcast, this is like a pixelated shirt of all the planets, and it's fabulous.
My 8-bit pixel shirt.
Yeah. I really like my shirt, but you can't tell from the video. It's quite fun.
I really like
like
my
it.
shirt too. It's a
The
Bigfoot
Bigfoot
looking through a
thing. Yeah, what's that
telescope.
going on?
I really like it.
It's a good shirt.
No, I do like it.
I
I do
know.
like
No,
it.
I really. Mike has a really cool shirt on. What is it?
It's Bigfoot looking through a telescope.
Yeah.
Because
It's,
we're in the
figure-
Pacific Northwest. We're leaning
leaning
in.
Take a drink.
oh God. This is for you.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of High in the Sky. We encourage, as always, everybody out there to just, take some time in the evening. Stay up a little bit late after the sun goes down, after that astronomical twilight ends and it gets real dark, and just, appreciate and enjoy the universe that you live in.
And if you can't, be a patron to your local planetarium.
Yeah.
Support them.
Hey.
And they'll show you what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
But stick around because in the wintertime, the sun sets earlier and you'll be able to enjoy more.
So don't go anywhere
But,
from the Earth, because in the winter, there's more coming from you.
Yeah.
But never forget, the sun will come out tomorrow.
What?
Tomorrow, but you better.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, on this episode of Cosmos to Cosmos. Follow us on all the things at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter, Cosmos to Cosmos everywhere else, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, everybody.
And if you're with us now, Jack, stick around, because we'll do The Hangover, which we'll talk about what books Mike's going to read next, and what book I am currently reading.
And to be fair, there is a third mystery listener on board. So this is exciting time.
Ooh. All right, well, stick around, everyone. We will be right back.
shit! I see it on the.
You're on.
I'm already on. I feel. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome to The Hangover, which is one of my favorite parts, besides the main show and besides the shots. So it's my third favorite part of the show.
Your
My
third.
fourth. What was that?
There's only 3 parts.
Well, no, this is the preparation, and there's advertising. As we know, clearly, since Liz has taken over, advertising is my least favorite part.
Yeah.
Oh, she gave me a micro stare right there, which is like, yeah, you fucking better be sorry for that. Anywho, so as we had talked about during the show, what we wanted to do was retell the story of Ten the Bottom.
Oh, shit, I forgot all about this.
Yeah, because I love that story.
Brandon's telling it.
So I think what we should do is we have a minute telling of the story based on our memories. So after Liz took the bullet and told the story, and we all interjected for each segment. No, Tente's the Sky After, or Hime is no. So I think what we should do is 1 minute. We each tell our own story. And because
that's not fair.
Wait. And because Liz and I love this story and we know it, we're gonna give Mike the first go, and I'll go second, and Liz can take it home. And
we're telling the.
We're all telling the Tanabata story.
Same story.
Okay.
1 minute. So this will be a 3-minute segment. Don't worry about it.
All right. There's a dude herds cows. He's looking out over the cows. He sees this girl, falls in love with her. She's a princess. Dad doesn't like that shit because he's a cow herder. He's like, hell no. Separates them with this big old river. You guys can't be together at all. So Princess Lady's like all upset. She's crying for days. She's not taking care of things. She's a blubbering mess. Can't stand it. So Dad's like, okay, I'll let you guys be together just one night a year, just for one night. That's it. Not even a day. One night. And so, and they secretly got married and shit. But makes this river. They're separated. These birds come by. They're able to walk across that bridge, be together for 12 hours, and somehow that makes them happy for a year.
God damn, 1 second left. Mike finishes the story.
Wow.
Were you timing me?
Yes! I gave you 1 minute.
You didn't hear him give you more time calls?
No, I didn't hear a time call. That is the Cliff Notes version. That is definitely Cliff Notes.
Alright, so
that is lacking poetry and majesty.
That was really good though. Alright, so Tente's the Sky Emperor, or Hime is the that the Sky Princess?
Cow herder.
Ikaboshi then is the princess.
No.
Oh, I'm
is
sorry,
the
it's
princess.
Okay, or Hime is the Sky Princess, and Hikaboshi is the cow herder.
You can't look it up.
Don't you fucking... you already got Mike's Cliff Notes. You're gonna get my story. No, Mike. Liz, look at the camera. Look at the camera right now. Look at the camera. And now I want to see your forearms flip, so you turn that story upside down. Flip it.
All right, Brandon, start over, man. You got a fresh minute.
Tente's the Sky Emperor, Hikaboshi's the cow herder, and Orihime is, of course, the princess. Oh, I see you clicking at things, Liz. Alright. Orihime, the Sky Princess. Wait, let me take this back. It is at 45, I'll start. 3:20:45. Orihime is the Sky Princess. And she loves life. She's prancing around, enjoying everything about the world that's created around here. When she finds Hikaboshi, who's just this charming scallywag. And this charming scallywag's like, hey, let's have a good time. And Orihime is like, you know what? I'm into this. And they have a great time. They fall in love. They go to arcades. They do their thing. And then the Sky Emperor, who is Orihime's dad, says, not for me. And separates them. And Orihime is like, are you sure? This makes me really sad. And Tente's like, okay, I guess. This makes you really sad. So he creates a bridge of magpies across this magnificent river that he separated them by. And so once a year, because he's still kind of strict, Hikaboshi and Orihime get to meet in the middle. And that creates the celebration of... Mike, what's it called?
Tanabata.
Tanabata, yeah, okay.
All right, that was it. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Hey, yeah, how many seconds
by the
you
way,
do?
Liz, I want you to have your hands up the
No.
entire time.
No, because we're now going to properly respect Japanese culture and tell the story appropriately.
I thought Brandon and I did a really good job telling the story.
You did a great.
I will turn off the timer if we want to be
You did a great
respectful.
Tanabata for dummies.
All right. That's...
All right.
Oh! I respect that. Continue.
All right. In the summer months, the stars Vega and Altair are represented by two star-crossed lovers, Orihime, Sky Princess, and Hikoboshi, a cowherder. On the seventh day of the seventh month,
There you go.
they get to see each other for one night a year. And the festival of Tanabata is celebrated on this day, where people write wishes on small pieces of colored paper called tanzaku and hang them in bamboo trees.
That's what it was.
On the following day, the decorated trees are floated on a river or in the ocean or burned as an offering. And there are many celebrations all over Japan, which also include parades, food stalls, colorful decorations, and fireworks. So Tanabata originated actually from a Chinese legend called Kiji, and was brought to Japan in the 8th century. Princess Orihime was a seamstress who wove beautiful kimonos, beautiful clothes. And she became sad and despaired of ever finding love. Her father, who was the god of the heavens, Tente, loved her dearly and arranged for her to meet Hikoboshi, the cowherder, who lived... Oh, this is a little different. Who lived on the other side of the Milky Way. The two fell in love instantly and married. Their love and devotion was so deep that Orihime stopped weaving, and Hikoboshi allowed the cows to wander the heavens.
That's right. No, that's what happened in the story of
Yes,
Adventures.
yes. Orihime's father became angry because they're just doing jack shit and forbade the two lovers to be together. But Orihime pleaded with him to allow them to stay. Well, Tente, he loved his daughter, so he decreed that the two would meet once a year on the 7th day of the 7th month if Orihime returned to her weaving. So all the people weren't running around naked because she made all the fancy clothes for everybody.
In one day, though?
Orihime, just if she started weaving again. Orihime became so despondent that a flock of magpies came and made a bridge for her. It is said that if it rains on Tanabata, the magpies will not come, and the two lovers must wait another year to be reunited. So Japanese always wish for good weather on Tanabata. There are many versions of the story, and this is the most widely held version.
Yours is the best, yes.
So it's just a dad controlling his daughter, basically.
Well, no. It's a dad who arranged love for his daughter, but then his daughter and her new husband were like, we're just going to stop doing any responsibilities and hang out with each other.
Sounds like an Aileron situation.
And so dad was like, no, you have responsibilities, so you can't meet unless you're going to start doing your shit.
Yeah, but dad's like, yeah, you guys are married, but I'm still going to control it so you guys can only see each other
Look, cows were just roaming around everywhere. People's clothes were falling off and getting torn, and they were losing their clothes.
So you're fine if your dad says that we can only be together on July 7th.
We can handle our responsibilities.
To be fair,
these are like two teenagers.
Wait. To be fair, if there are cows shitting left and right in the entire world, and like everything smells like cow shit, you can't take a step. Like, yeah, I'd say, hey, Mike and Liz, I love you guys. Just meet once a year, though. That way we can walk to Smith's without walking in cow patties.
Meanwhile, there's like whole countries where they revere cows, and cows are just walking around everywhere.
I mean, I revere cows in my tummy. And they are cute. I do love moo cows.
Are we doing turkey burgers or like cow burgers?
We're doing cow burgers.
Is it too late for me to catch a flight out there?
I mean,
dude, we told you.
Man.
We told you.
No,
for
I
weeks.
looked into it for weeks and weeks and weeks.
I know.
I really did.
But if you do show up, let us know. We'll meet you in Eugene. Bring you here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking. So now that you mentioned, I am thinking about the last week of July because that would be fun.
We're here.
We'll be here last week of July.
Yeah.
Where would you be?
Yeah, because we're going to a
NoFX show.
NoFX concert in Washington.
Well, shit. I should plan it around then.
In the 22nd, the weekend of the 22nd. So we're here.
Yeah, 22nd. You're in Bangladesh.
Anyway, books.
Books, yeah. Liz, what are you reading?
Okay, I am currently reading, and I've already read it once, but it was a while ago. So I'm reading Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything.
That is one of my favorite books of all time.
I just cheeky British guy just talking about history and science and.
Well, okay, so I think the opening line is, the universe is really, 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 really old, older than you could possibly imagine. Oh no,
Like
really,
that.
really, really straight. No, that's a different chapter.
That's,
but yes.
Yeah, I'm at the part where they're still trying to figure out the Earth's age, but now we're getting into the chemistry part of it, which I'm assuming is leading to carbon dating.
It's such a fun
It's
read.
good. It's good.
If you want an audiobook, the narrator is British and captures it perfectly. So I strongly suggest that too.
Okay.
Okay, I have to go to chat for a second though. Jack's going to have sushi with the bears tonight. And he goes, 3 weeks of growth and your baby beard will fit right in.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Then would he
Brandon Bear?
would he be a cub?
He's a cub. Yeah.
But
I can't grow facial. It looks terrible on me. Like I remember in high school, like oh, there's a hair. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have a full beard. No, I can't grow beard.
But you're not in high school anymore.
No, but I've still gone a week without shaving, and it looks like crap. It's not gonna work.
I just can't take it. 5 days, I want to rip my head off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like for me, it would hide many infections
me.
in my face, but it still doesn't look good.
I can't picture you with.
But imagine like if I had white gray hair, then I could totally rock that. Maybe not. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. But I'm about to find out. I'm going to go 3 weeks without it.
I mean, it makes you feel better. I can't either.
That doesn't make me feel better,
It's very
but I
patchy.
appreciate you trying.
All right.
What was the other thing I had mentioned that we were going to do in Hangover?
We got to figure out Mike's next book.
Mike's book, yes. What are you reading right now?
What do you want to read next?
Well, I'm reading right now. There's two different questions on the table.
Yes.
Yes.
I am reading Oathbringer, which
Sanderson,
is
of
the
course.
final book of this series that I can currently read because the last two are not out. So.
But he writes very fast, so they'll be out within the next 3 years.
Yeah, there's the next two are out. Yeah, so the next one comes out next year.
Yeah.
Your mom's reading it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has started Oathbringer. So there's that. And so I want to get off Brandon Sanderson for a bit.
Okay. If you want to get out of Sanderson, but still have something related, because I
kind of want to move from this universe.
Move on. Okay.
Just
so
to get a break.
I can't say Wheel of Time because I will forever say that.
But I was looking at Red, Green, Blue Mars.
But you've read that.
I have read it, yes. But, I've also read Lord of the Rings a few times as well. So, it's...
You can read what I'm reading.
I can read what you're reading. That sounds like really fun. And
There's been
intriguing.
some lines where you've already kind of gone to sleep or whatever, and I'm reading it, and I'm I'll laugh at it, and then I'm oh damn it. So it was had to do with Big Bang when I was in the Big Bang chapter.
So I mean, I am thinking of that, but Or maybe I jump into The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings or Silmarillion.
Ooh. So Andy Serkis has just recorded Silmarillion, and I desperately want to listen to that. But I did. So the
You're
first
going to be
time
on
in
a
20
flight
years,
for a long time.
for the first time in 20 years, I finally read The Hobbit. Because I remember not caring for it when I was like
Wait,
11.
wait.
Yep,
Let's
bring it
back
on.
up.
Yeah, I last
Bring it
read
on.
it in fifth grade. I think.
You had not read The Hobbit until recently?
I read it when I was around 12, but that doesn't count.
Why does it not count? Because you're 12?
So you don't fully understand things at 12. Like, oh, this is a fun jaunt, which is what it is. But I finally reread it, and it's a fun jaunt. It's exactly what it is. The main battle, when all these armies come together, Bilbo gets knocked out, and it wakes up like 8 hours later, saying, "What did I miss? Oh, the battle's done." Wait a fucking minute, guy. But it's pulled off, so it's really good.
Jack is reading Worksheets Don't Grow Dendrites.
I don't know what a dendrite is.
Nerve cells.
Oh.
Those are those little long parts of the nerves, I think.
Yeah,
Parts of nerve cells. That's our biology lesson of the day.
So yeah, right now I'm doing the Moon is Heart's Mistress, and after that, before I do that, one of the science fiction books I read before this was Parable of a Sower by her. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot her name, but Octavia Butler. So I think I recommend this to Mike when he was looking for books earlier on. So Octavia Butler, how she does this is it's like a journal format where every day or every other day, every week, whenever she's able to, she would journal her stories, and that's what you're reading from her. And it's set in California in the late 70s, the future, which is like 20 years ago. And it's about how the United States is basically collapsing around her and how their family's trying to make the best of it.
So
and
it's a contemporary story.
Honestly, sorry, this was mid-90s thing. And honestly, there are so many details, like, you got this spot on. Holy shit. Like, there's a sect of conservative crusaders that if you do not believe exactly what they believe, you're a witch and need to be tortured and killed. I have never, ever felt the emotions in any book than the second book. Like, I felt hatred for the first time in my life reading that second book.
Wow.
I felt
and what
pure
is it?
hatred.
Octavia Butler.
Octavia Butler. There are two books. Parable of a Sower, I think, which is a Bible story, and let me confirm that in a moment.
Okay, I guess we should talk because now we got dead air.
Jack's is alternative ways for students to practice skills. Very interesting as a teacher.
Early 90s was the book.
Jack, I have a feeling you're like the best teacher.
I got it.
I wish I had Jack as a teacher. I don't even know his teaching style, but it seems like it's amazing. And
honestly, like, every time we say something, he's like, yeah, I told my students about this, and we had this great conversation. I'm like, oh, man, you're on top of things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He just shows Cosmos of Cosmos every other week.
We should be so lucky.
I would show crash courses in world history or in history when I was doing my student teaching, and then I was showing what's that British show that was like the parodies of history stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. God.
Yeah, I would show those as like a little classroom palate cleanser at the end of class.
But let me say, Parable of a Sower.
Yeah, we're reconnecting.
Parable of a Talents, and I
Horrible
have never
history.
felt...
Yep.
Horrible history. Yes, horrible histories.
There it is.
All right, Parable of a Sower and Parable of a Talent.
Talents, yes. And I've read more than 3 books in my life, but those books, I have never felt the amount of hatred, like a pure fucking hatred, as I had in the second book. Like, she does it beautifully, and I hate it.
I've never read a book. It's for smart people.
Well, there's Go Dog Go, which is of course my
I
favorite.
mean, if I said that, it might be more
Oh, yeah, right.
believable.
Whatever.
Oh,
Oh yeah, those actors were on BBC's Ghost. I liked the
I
British
love
Ghost.
the
British Ghost was
British
so
Ghost.
good.
I'm gonna go back to the thing I was because this is The Hangover. There were no rules.
Yes, there are no rules.
So with Parable
There
of
are
Sower,
rules.
all they did, the areas they're in is in like Central and Northern California. So they name all these towns that I recognize that I think Liz would recognize too. So I think that would make her happy.
What they got? Oakland, Richmond,
Oh my goodness,
San
where's
Jose.
that one person from that? Oh no, it goes
Manteca.
Humboldt County.
Oh, that's North
Yeah.
California.
talk
Yeah,
about
that's
Humboldt
northern of
County.
the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, that's North.
That's
Bay Area.
where like we watched that thing on Humboldt
weed,
County.
yeah,
the
on
Yeah,
weed.
but
Weed.
it starts in the LA, like north of LA County, and they work their way up to Humboldt County.
Okay, so they go all the way up.
What's it? Murder Mountain?
Yeah. something
Murder
like that.
Mountain?
Yeah, it's just about before weed became legal and the kind of the
Yeah, all the
growers and it was actually kind of with the transition of it becoming legal, but it was interesting. Yeah, Humboldt County. Very Trump, very conservative. North California is very conservative.
yeah.
Oh
They
my
want
God.
to
But-
make the state of Jefferson.
And then Central
That-
Valley, California, also very conservative.
That was the second time I felt that amount of emotion in the book. So
Wow.
strong suggest. Not an easy read because it. Oh yeah. So yeah, fantastic read.
I like
Anyway,
easy reads.
I suggest Go Dog Go.
Okay.
And we talk about blue dogs.
I
red
just-
dogs,
I
dogs,
actually-
dog.
I just actually reread my favorite book before I started Bill Bryson's, and my favorite book is. And I refuse to see the movie because the movie does not capture how it is in my head, and I don't want to ruin how it is in my head, but it's Ella Enchanted.
Wait a minute.
And
Isn't that supposed to be a good movie?
I don't care. It's too bright and not correct with
Yeah, it's
how I
like-
visualize the book.
I respect that.
It's like Never Meet Your Heroes.
Yeah, so Ella Enchanted was like, I just loved
Ella
that book.
Enchanted.
It's basically a
So-
play on Cinderella. It's a take on a Cinderella story. I think the author is
What-
something divine, maybe.
So what's the biggest difference there in between the Cinderella and the Ella Enchanted
Well,
story?
basically, she's cursed from a child to be obedient, which means that any kind of command she's given, she has to do. And
So it's written by a man, is what you're saying.
No, it's written by a woman. And there are fairies, and she has a fairy godmother that she finds out about later. And her mother dies, and her father is a traveling salesman kind of guy. And so there's this then lady and her daughters that he sends her off to finishing
Fabrizio.
school with. And basically it has there's the Prince Charming, which is Prince Charmant. That's
Federico,
like
I'm sorry.
anyway, it's kind of like her trying to figure out how she can break this curse of obedience, and at some point she just accepts that that's her life
Ruin it
and
for all of us.
and whatnot, but she eventually breaks it in order to save someone else's life.
Nice.
But I don't know, it was very the character Ella is very kind of like strong-willed and very kind of tomboy in a way, but also girly. So she was relatable
it's
to
a good
me.
Anne Hathaway character.
And fuck off. And
Wait a minute, what did Brandon say? that
he
was
says a good
such-
Anne
Isn't
Hathaway character. She
But
played
isn't
Ella.
that right though?
She played Ella in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I being told the fuck off? Like
Because
that's a
if
good Anne Hathaway
anything-
character.
No, she's, I don't know, she's cooler than Anne Hathaway. Anyway,
you don't have to watch the movie if you don't want to watch.
Anyway,
the
I'm not
movie,
gonna watch the movie because,
Never Meet Your Heroes.
like, it
So
should have more
don't
earthy
let it-
tones, not all these bright, colorful, fanciful things.
I respect that. Yes.
And I don't know, it was just, I'm sure they made her more girly than she should be in the or whatever, but she had a little attitude and stuff, but yeah, it's not like
Anne
in the
Hathaway.
movie, like it's not supposed to
In
be a
the movie?
musical or dancing or anything, but
I
anyway,
haven't seen the
there are
movie, so-
ogres and there are dwarves
never seen
and there's like little individual languages for all of them, and it's very it's fun.
All right, so So Mike, for example, now, what is your favorite science fiction movie that's been made to a movie that you despise?
Book that's been made to a movie. Not a movie that's been made to a movie.
No, a science fiction book that's been made to a movie.
But that's not what you
You
said.
said science fiction movie that's been made into a movie.
Yeah, but I can reiterate that because this is The Hangover.
But Brandon, I knew what you're talking about. I don't think I have anything that I despise. No.
Gravity?
Should have been.
I haven't read the book.
I don't know if that was a book.
not the book.
I don't know what has been a book and what's a movie. There's things that I find out movies that were books. I'm like,
I didn't read
movie that is maybe like that did not live up to the expectations.
Oh wow! Every other Star Trek movie.
Well, yeah, the biggest expectation. Because, like for me, for example, it's Ender's Game. That did not live up to the expectations. And
I
can talk
enjoyed
about
the Hunger
that when
Games
you think
movies,
about it.
and I did read Hunger Games books. I enjoyed the books of Hunger Games. I hated Katniss in the books. She was so obnoxious and annoying. But I
she's a strong
enjoyed.
character in the movie.
She's a stronger character in the movies than she is in the book. In the book, she's a whiny little bitch, and I'm like, suck it up and be a badass.
Well, only because you get her interior dialogue. You understand exactly what she's thinking.
Yeah,
but what
she's
she does,
whiny and
but
annoying.
But what she does is still exactly what happens in the movie. Of course, what she thinks is annoying. Because if you put your thoughts onto a page,
I don't want to read my thoughts on the page. I want to read fucking what Xena's doing and Buffy and kicking ass instead of whining about how you just how you have a crush on somebody or whatever. Like, get over it, move on, be a badass.
Yeah, but she is a teenager.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm reading it as not a young adult, but
yeah, I mean that's.
I found her character to be annoying, and I didn't like her.
And that's fine.
It wasn't the kind of heroine that I prefer in my leading heroines.
But I will say, if you saw the interior dialogue of Buffy or Xena, you would probably think, "Why are you being so?" You saw their actions.
Well, I don't, and I don't want to. That wasn't written out.
And that's the deal.
Write out stronger interior
And that's
monologue.
the deal. You saw Katniss's actions, which mirrored themselves in the movies.
Not really. She was very wishy-washy, and it was like other people that eventually she did shit. Other people eventually fucking got to do shit.
So actually, here's the question: what book or books do you want turned into a movie?
To be a better movie. Let's put it that way.
I don't read enough books to be able to answer this question.
We can change that.
Bill Bryson's a short history of nearly everything. Like, it'd be fun though, episodic and like.
I would love to see Red, Green, and Blue Mars as a movie.
Oh, so bad.
I think of all the books I've read, all three of them.
Jack. Sorry.
Of all the books I've ever read, three. Those were the ones that I would love to see as a movie.
So we'll get to Jack's comment in a moment. But Mike, I think, was it you that first turned me to the Red Mars trilogy? I think, like 10 years ago at this point.
Oh, see, I thought you'd already read it.
No, I don't think I have.
I thought we bonded over that.
We may have. That may have been why we became friends. But it was around the same time frame because it was within like 300 days I read it and we talked.
Oh, okay.
Red Mars, and the second is Green Mars and Blue Mars.
Yep.
Can I confide in you in the moment?
Can you what?
I never confide.
Oh.
I never finished Blue Mars, the last one. I never finished it. Because it was all about the coyote trying to find his mom. I'm like, I don't give a shit about this.
No, that's fine. That's cool. So, I mean, yeah, it's just a good book. Books. So,
yeah.
No, that's absolutely
one of my favorite science fiction books of all time. Red Mars will forever stay one of my favorite books of all time.
Yeah, and that's why I'm actually leaning towards Red Mars after I finish Oathbringer. First of all, to me, it'll be a quickish read. I'm already familiar with the story, so I don't have to pay a lot of attention to
there's
details that,
There's another book. So if we throw everything aside, Octavia Butler aside, which is tough to do, which I strongly recommend that. Ursula K. Guin, has a great trilogy about a young wizard coming into his own power. I cannot remember.
Harry Potter? No, I'm just kidding. I know it's not Harry Potter. Different author.
No, somebody is yelling at me on the podcast saying it's this person and that name. Yeah, it's a really fun read. So I will send you that link.
Okay.
It's a quick read as well.
Oh, I did read some of my mom's books. I don't know. I don't think they were Anne Rice. There was some other author, but it involved vampires.
Dean Koontz.
No, not Dean Koontz. She does have Dean Koontz.
You know,
though, as she has.
We're watching From a series.
Wait.
Oh, it's called From.
On MPO.
Katie recommended it to me.
I thought you said Thrawn, and I was about to lose my shit. Like,
no.
What?
From.
And I mean, it's basically smiley vampires. Not vampires. Smiley zombies.
Well, not zombies though.
No, but they move slow.
Yeah, but we don't know what they are. But they basically will rip you apart and eat most
which
of
is kind of what But they don't eat you, so it's really kind of they just tear you apart.
We don't know if they don't eat you.
Huh?
We don't know if they don't eat. Where does all that other flesh and organs go?
Okay, all right, whatever. They rip them apart, and they move slow, and they smile at Mormons, and
before they transform into just death.
Until they transform.
But anyway,
and they just walk very slow, and somehow they still catch you.
Well, that is a typical horror movie trope of the killer.
Yeah,
always walk slow.
Yeah, but still, all you gotta do is run.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, but all you have to do is run. And you're going to be able to avoid them.
No, because you always trip.
They
always catch up.
I have a question.
But that's a trope.
I have a question. This is probably the last question we'll ask in this episode.
You have to get to Jack's Foundation books, too.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So let's do that first.
Okay.
So, yes, I love Foundation. Again, Isaac Asimov, which is the second time we mentioned this in the podcast. And it's a glorious series about somebody using... I forget the exact term, but it's using mathematics and history combined to predict the future, and he is always right most of the time.
Is it like that election guy that predicts the elections?
Nate Silver is his name, and his website was recently sold to Disney, and he's disowned it. So don't go to that website anymore. 538, if you're curious.
Okay.
Anyway. So yeah, Foundation is about this mathematician who can foresee the future, and there are many different characters that jump through books and books and books. But the Apple series, it uses the same characters, and it's just not great.
Oh, is it on Apple?
It is on Apple because I was very excited. I was very excited about watching it.
Which one is this one? Foundation.
Foundation on Apple.
Yeah.
It's called Foundation.
Wait. Isn't it where oh god, fuck. I don't know. We'll look at
Howard
it.
Seldon is his name.
I can't remember the characters that are in it, but the actors, I should say. But I mean, we can go. I mean,
I don't remember.
Yeah, but in any case, it's like this generational 1,000-year story that takes place after 500 years, 500 years, 500 years. Each story's after X amount of centuries.
Yes, the kid was on this planet. They pick her up, and they transport her over to some other place. And yeah, okay, all right. So,
but
too much content overload.
The story itself takes its place over thousands of years, but Amazon is trying to make it take within like a single character's lifespan, apparently, and it's just not hitting the right spots. Because it's about the galactic evolution of culture, which takes a huge amount of time. And then.
Federico says he would like the complete Hitchhiker's Guide saga, but properly shot. See, I never read the books, so I enjoy the movie, but I don't have the book information.
You should watch it tonight.
I do love Hitchhiker's Guide, though. Like, just
it's one of my favorite hangover movies.
We were referencing. Federico, we referenced it during the break because Brandon gave this big sigh from the main show into our break. And so then we were like, oh, it sounds like the Doors from Hitchhiker's Guide.
If I'm ever really hungover, my go-to movie is Hitchhiker's Guide. It just brings comfort and joy to me.
Do you get a towel? Do you watch it with a towel?
You
should.
Apparently, I need a hangover towel.
You need a hangover
Which has many different layers to it.
Yeah, I've definitely needed a hangover towel here and there.
You don't have hangovers.
Which reminds me, by the way, we need to redo the black holes and science fiction episodes.
I feel like we've redone those, though.
Not the science fiction. We had bits and pieces there, but not a full science fiction episode.
So when I don't go real, where I don't have to leave the
because I think it was me that got sick during black holes on the leave, and then you had to leave.
That was before we started recording live, everybody. So it was just like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It was like, I gotta be done. I gotta.
Well, I mean, we've done enough black hole stuff. But
there's always more black
hole
hole
stuff. You love talking about black holes.
I can talk about black holes.
Everyone does.
I can talk about black holes all the time, but we have done a lot of black hole stuff.
But we never focused on black. We've talked about them. About
fucking second episode was all about.
That's what
black
he's talking
holes.
about. Were you doing it because we all got real drunk?
I didn't. Nope. We had to pull your hair back.
That was
I did.
Liz.
No. Oh, wait a minute.
Was that when Katie was over and visiting?
Oh, hold on. No, the black holes was Brandon.
Okay,
right?
it was sci-fi, science fiction.
I tried that. That's right. So I got drunk during black holes because I think I did like Black Russians, which, yeah, it's a good time. Anyway, so hey, welcome to The Hangover, where we talk about the episodes we get really drunk on and can't remember.
But also, we've talked about books we're reading, and I'm actually reading a book right now.
And it's honestly one of my favorite books.
It's a great
that I don't
book.
Own.
You don't own it?
I will posit this. Bill Bryson's A Brief History. Wait.
Yeah.
I take that back. I was gonna say it's my favorite book I don't own, but it's actually over there.
You do.
So have it.
Okay. I will say that surprisingly, so my favorite books that I can think of right now are my number one favorite is Ella Enchanted. Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything,
Excellent.
and Endeavor. The story of Shackleton's voyage to Antarctica.
Oh my God! What a great
Endeavor
story.
is such
Holy
a good
shit.
book. Like the way it's written, I don't know what it is, but I love it. It's like you're there with them while they're going through this, and they just found the ship, Endeavor recently. It was and so it was just, that's the next book I'm gonna reread after Bill Bryson is Endeavor. You should it's really, I mean,
I have it on my Kindle.
It's not like a dry history book, or it's really enthralling. It's really good.
Even if it were a dry history book, it would still be worth the goddamn read. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's what a crazy story. What the shit these people endured and survived.
All right, so
holy shit.
We talked about Liz's favorite books. Is that your Ella Enchanted and Shackleton? Is that the favorite books?
Yeah, those are my favorite books.
All
Bill
right.
Bryson, Ella Enchanted, and Shackleton.
What are your two favorite books?
Two favorite books.
No order.
Series or books?
I just to throw in also Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends.
It's Where the Sidewalk Ends.
I mean,
I can see the cover in my head.
There's also The Giving Tree, though. Oh.
Well, the fucking Giving Tree, of course.
I gotta say, I mean, so stupid to say this. Fellowship of the Ring.
It's not stupid.
Fellowship of the Ring, just because it was a book that just magically transported me someplace else.
That's what Ella Enchanted did for me.
Well, yeah, because I read like Red Mars, something like that. The Martian, things like that. These are all based in they have science as their
Everyone
undercurrent.
wants a little fantasy,
Yeah, but then you get into Lord of the Rings, and I feel like Lord of the Rings is such a cliche thing to say, but
it's cliche amongst us three, exactly. Because we talk about it constantly.
But I do
There's a
really
reason.
love Fellowship of the Ring, and then that leads right into all the other,
It's the gateway
Tolkien
drug.
stuff. What?
It's the gateway drug.
One day I
It
will
is a
read
gateway
it.
drug.
One day I will read them.
Gotta get that vein ready. Yeah.
Which, different story.
What about you?
I'm going to ask Liz to talk about something for 30 seconds while I go to find my favorite book.
All right.
Maybe, okay, I get 5 seconds, and then Liz will talk. I'll go for my favorite book.
Okay.
Brandon's drunk. All right, go ahead. Go get your book.
Who
We're
told
talking.
you that?
We're talking.
Oh, my mom. Hi,
Hey!
Mom. Okay, then I can give my mom a
Got
recap in this 30 seconds. We're talking about our favorite books. Brandon's getting his favorite book right now.
Well,
mine
here in
is
The Hangover.
Mine is in The Hangover. The regular episode was High in the Sky. I liked Ella Enchanted and Bill Bryson's Short History of Nearly Everything, and Endeavor, the story of Shackleton's voyage to Antarctica. And Mike likes Lord of the Rings. And Brandon's back with his favorite book, and it is Ribsy.
Ribsy.
And
Which
you know
is
what?
Beverly
I
Cleary.
have to say, looking at that book has seen a lot of love, and that it has been read quite a bit.
So you all, first of all, Beverly Cleary, if you listen to this, will know who Beverly Cleary is. But let me open it up a little bit more. So there is it's written pen for some reason, which I need to call her out on. This is probably 1972. In pen, it says Adrian Riddle.
Oh, it's your sisters.
1972.
Oh,
My
your
mom.
mom's.
This is my mom's book. She checked up on library and apparently never returned.
Oh no, I wonder what that fine is.
But it's all about a dog that loves its family and gets lost and tries to find its way back to its family.
Aww. I've never heard of it. It's so sweet.
And I love. So my mom has like perfect handwriting, but in this case, you can see like the Adrian is slanted down.
Yeah, it's like
And they're
not very...
Yes. So I absolutely. This is my favorite book of all time.
Aww. You know what's funny is I have one of my mom's books.
What I love.
But you
hold
know
on,
what? You talk for 30
Okay,
seconds.
you're gonna just destroy
We're getting books.
half.
And it smells like a good old book.
Oh, if
What
you
is my
break it, hold on. If you break it, well done. I was waiting for her to just take out half of the office here. What I love, what I think is the funniest thing is Brandon will have he'll break out the book, and he does exactly like he's doing right now. Just smells the book.
Oh my god. Okay, so so I have a book right next to me, which is 1956. It is called, it's probably not the oldest book next to me, actually. So this is 1956. It is called The Poor Man's Guide to Europe. And this...
What does it say about Italy?
1 second, that's really good. All right, so Italy, let's find out. Italy. Let me go through the contents. We have Papa Nes Passi e Pate. I know what that means.
Oh god, you're gonna break everything.
I can't.
I'm impressed.
I didn't. I made it.
I don't know. I can't see what's Italian, what isn't. It's all in different languages.
All right. I don't know
All
what
right.
Brandon's talking about.
Liz, what
All
you
right,
got?
so I have one of my mom's books now that my mom is here. It is, look at this, it is The Poet's Garden, edited by Stevie Smith. I don't know why I was drawn to this book when I was just a child. Look at this binding.
There's a lot of love.
Right here. A lot of love has happened in this book, but it had
Wow,
really
look at
cool.
that. That's
Like
gorgeous.
I will read this. I'm sure it's not copyright anymore.
Mike, get ready for your book.
I
this
am
poem-
not gonna go get a book.
This poem is called A Winter's Night by William Barnes. It was a chilly winter's night, and frost was glittering on the ground, and evening stars were twinkling bright, and from the gloomy plain around came no sound, but where, within the wood-girt tower, the church bell slowly struck the hour, as if that had all of human birth had risen to the final day, and soaring from the worn-out earth, were called in hurry and dismay, far away, and I alone, all of mankind, were left in loneliness behind.
Excellent.
It's fun.
And
I think I think I liked it because it had pictures in it as well, because
Pictures
I was
are
in
good.
elementary
Pictures are
school,
very good.
and I was like, oh, these are fun. So, Mom, I have your poem book here in safekeeping.
So since you read some of yours, let me read some of mine. Ribsy by Beverly Cleary here.
What did Beverly Cleary do?
Oh, she's a huge author, so I guarantee you would know some of hers.
Yeah.
So the first chapter is, of course, Ribsy and the Hungry Flea. And I'm going to read this until Mike gets back. Henry Huggins' dog, Ribsy, was a plain, ordinary city dog. The kind of dog that strangers usually call mutt or pooch. They always call him in a friendly way because Ribsy was a friendly dog. He followed Henley and his friends to school at Mike's back, so I will stop.
That sounded good. It sounded
All right,
like
I had to go get books because everybody
do
else
it.
is getting books.
One book.
Remember, I
No,
remember how
no, I'm getting
No,
three.
I
I
can't
got
go.
three.
I will
Nope.
go get 2 more if I need to.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Show the cover. Oh.
There it is. God Particle, because autographed by Leon Letterman, Nobel laureate.
Books? Okay.
I'm sorry, Mike's. Federico said, Mike, go grab one of mine. Leon Letterman, the God Particle. He did!
Excellent.
Let's see if I can get the signature up close, though, on the camera.
Yeah, one of my favorite books. Just on the physics, just from the physics. I think you got to go back. Okay, next page. There it is. Oh, it's blown out. So there we go. Actually came to my university, Clemson University, physics department. We had a colloquium, and he met with us before it. But of course, obviously Lord of the Rings, which I have talked about. But one of my favorite books
And favorite authors.
and my
The
favorite author, Jack Kerouac's The Dharma Bums.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be On the Road for some.
Nope, because
Dharma Bums.
this is the gateway drug to Jack Kerouac.
Ah, okay.
So Dharma Bums was the book that I picked up of Jack Kerouac, and Jack Kerouac has a certain style where
A lot of run-on sentences.
he will write a sentence that goes on for pages and chapters.
Like Cormac McCarthy, but less
So-
grammatically correct.
He would get a spool of paper and just write. It's a stream of consciousness. And this one was one of the first books. This was the first Jack Kerouac book I read, and it was like a holy shit kind of thing. And so Jack Kerouac is by far my favorite author. Lord of the Rings probably my favorite book, but it's just such a fun read to read. So when I was reading Dharma Bums, it was really the first chapter that got me, where basically he jumps on a train that takes him from LA to San Francisco, basically.
Yeah.
And, just that whole free lifestyle and meeting Jaffe up in the San Francisco area and all of that. It was just an amazing thing. So it introduced me to not only Kerouac, but introduced me to the Beat Generation. And if there was any group of people that I could identify with from long ago, it was probably the Beats. It just for some reason I could relate to them on some level.
Yeah.
So what'd you say?
I gotta get you a beret.
A beret.
Like a
I would
black
love
beat
that.
poet beret.
All right.
And a long turtle sleeve and some black pants. A turtle.
Oh,
did I say turtle
A
sleeve,
beret,
by
yeah.
the way? Turtleneck, long sleeve turtleneck is what I meant.
So if I was gonna go do some like slam poetry, yeah, I would have to dress like Allen Ginsberg or somebody.
All right. So next time, if there's slam poetry near you guys, next time we're by you, we each need to throw in slam poetry moments.
Wait a minute.
we have
Where do you think we live?
Well, we have a burlesque show coming up.
We do have
at the
burlesque
local
show.
Hell yeah!
Theater at the end of the
do
month.
That, but instead of burlesque,
Is it the end of the month?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I just
Oh, if Brandon comes at the end of the month, I think that's when it's going to be on.
Hey, I mentioned that. Yeah.
he won't be
Federico
here.
said the fairy gunmother, which, by the way,
Oh, you mean like these?
badass. And the entire, I'm not even going to, Malasuene saga by Pinnock.
I can't.
You make the
live
face.
chatting.
The fairy gunmother sounds very American, I gotta
going
say,
to-
Federico. Anyway.
I just think it's great. Federico loves the God particle. But I mean, I think we have discussed this before, though, in the past, me and Federico. But
Ray Bradbury when
elephants
so
what?
number one, we just had 3 Italians go into space recently, thanks to Virgin Galactic. So
Oh yeah.
there we go. And then the other thing, we're talking about signed books. I have a signed Ray Bradbury book, and whoever Chris is who I go by now. Because Chris got a Ray Bradbury signed book.
Well, we have.
Nice. What you picked that up at an antique shop?
This was years ago, yeah. Oh, there's a receipt in there. Wait a minute.
Oh!
There's a receipt. I found the receipt, folks. Was this me or somebody else? Oh, this is mine. 2016. Yeah, this was me. I bought this on May 4th, Star Wars Day, 2016.
Nice.
For
Nice.
$43.32, if you're curious. That's how much a Ray Bradbury signature goes for Chris.
Where did you buy it?
It was a small store in Phoenix. I think it was on Thomas and on 32nd Street. Not a great place of town, but it was near my apartment, so I got it.
Well, apparently Chris is not a big fan of Ray Bradbury.
And he probably died. So there's another book that's signed.
Of course, your mom likes Brandon Sanderson.
Right.
It is great.
What was that?
Liz's mom likes Brandon Sanderson.
Of course.
She's reading the same books I am. And I think she probably just started.
We need to do a Wheel of Time fan group here in the moment once you read the first book. But here's another book. I'm going to see if you can recognize the signature or the title, and then we will have opinions immediately after.
Carl Sagan. No, Neil. No. Wait, what?
Space
You got it.
Chronicles.
You got the
Yep,
second one.
Carl Sagan.
No.
No, not
No.
Carl
Tyson.
Sagan. Neil
Neil-
Tyson.
Oh, Neil
Neil Tyson.
Tyson.
So
Okay.
this was my New York
That's what you
trip
said.
when I was...
No, I said Carl Sagan because the last name looked like Sagan, but the first name looked like Neil, and I got very confused. I was like, Neil
So
Sagan?
Oh, you see, what I heard was Neil Tyson.
It was Neil Tyson.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't do a D
So
in
this was my
there.
first New York trip when I was 23. There's the whole story behind that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming that
We've told this
loyal
story.
listeners know about
Yes.
this. And I went to the Hayden Planetarium. I bought the book, and turns out he signed it, which is really fucking cool.
That's cool.
But that was
That's cool.
before he became Neil
Look,
Tyson.
look, he's
always been Neil Tyson.
He's always been Neil Tyson. All right,
Yeah.
so let's just love him for what he is, just an arrogant ass. But he knows his space shit, and he's a science
Most people recognize
communicator.
him for spreading science.
Yeah,
Right.
so
For that.
he's
And-
a proponent of science.
And I think he's arrogant as shit.
Yeah,
Uh,
he kind of can be.
but I will say he's earned it.
Yeah.
But he
He
has
has.
done an amazing job at being a science communicator
Yes.
for people.
Yes.
And so
And look, he got the
Like-
fucking scene fixed in Titanic with the stars and the night
Like
sky.
there's
So
an incredible spectrum between Sagan, Bill Nye's in the middle,
and
and Tyson's on
Tyson.
the right. Yeah, it's a huge spectrum there, but I still love
but yeah, they're all great at communicating science,
Yeah.
and
they're all
I
on our
think,
side.
Um,
We're all on the same
that's
team.
in.
facts.
I don't necessarily want to sit next to Tyson and have a conversation.
I would love that.
Well, but you see, the thing
'Cause
is,
I would
is
never
You
that-
get high in the Planetarium again.
you can go to him. You can go toe to toe with him.
But-
Honestly, they need Digistar motherfuckers. They don't have a good planetarium.
No, they don't have a good planetarium.
but the thing
Or
is,
they don't have a great
is
planetarium.
Tyson doesn't give you the chance to go toe to toe with him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
doesn't.
No.
There is no conversation with Tyson.
No,
it is
that's
a
true.
monologue
That's
with
true.
Tyson.
That's true.
Bill
And-
does, Sagan did.
And so that's a bit of a pain in the ass, but I do love him in front of the cameras because he's really good at what he does.
But I am curious, had Sagan lived for another 20 years? Because his last book, Demon Haunts the World, was him being super fucking cranky and not taking any goddamn shit. Like, Okay, I get you enjoy healing crystals and astrology. It's all bunk and bullshit, and here is exactly why. Point by
Sounds like
point,
me
he
on our
deconstructed
astrology
the
episode.
regions, and it was fabulous. Um,
It's Taken Today would be phenomenal, I think. But Jack says the issue is when Carter retires, who will tell NGT that the images will not work with public? Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, and Carter Emmerich. Carter.
All right.
He does. He creates their shows and all that, and so. I mean, Carter is what makes.
You can keep it rolling.
Where are you going?
I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Just to go pee.
Carter creates the imagery and the shows that Tyson dictates and stuff like that. So
And now that it's just us boys here, can we look behind Mike's left shoulder and for the first time in podcast acknowledge Leonard Nimoy? Because look at that face.
have we not?
I don't
have
think
we not
we
done
have.
that?
I don't think we ever acknowledged Leonard Nimoy in the background there.
Right, but more importantly, who gave that to us? Liz's mom. And it's signed.
Excellent.
It's signed.
Show it up to the camera. Show it up to the camera.
Oh god, that means I'm gonna end up.
Also, that silver thing in front of them is what I have to mix my drinks.
Oh, but that is actually also from Liz's mom. She got us a second one. I don't.
There we go. Look at that. What's by his right ear say? What's that say?
It says to Karen. Oh no, I gotta put my glasses.
It's
now.
to Karen. It's not my Ray Bradbury bullshit to Chris. It's actually to Karen.
To Karen. I can't read it. But Leonard Nimoy is down and lower. She met him at a Jewish festival.
Probably Live Long and Prosper or Holler Bread's the best.
No, it's not. It's not that. Maybe when
Liz,
when she gets back, she
Liz,
can read
get
it.
back here.
I don't know. Knee transplant so skinny. I have no idea, but it's to.
Knee transplant so skinny.
Oh god, it's gonna be something like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly what it says.
It's really cool. It's
But-
way better than the to Chris thing.
Yeah, what does that say? What does it say? To Karen. This is where we need like music where. Yeah. Oh, okay. Makes me feel better because even Liz can't read it right now.
I can't.
All right, we'll put it back so it doesn't fall.
We were
And-
commenting on the really cool signature.
And so, also for the rocket, Liz's mom got that for us, and she was so excited that she got us that rocket.
Yeah.
And it was like a housewarming present before we moved here. So excited.
No. That was before he got to Ogden.
No. For here, and so she didn't know that we already had one.
Ah,
And-
there it is.
And so we open it, and we're, and I am prepared to go. Oh, this is so awesome! This is great. Liz goes. She laughs and says, "We already have one." And then she wanted to take it back, and I'm like, "No,
So now
no."
it's on that
'Cause
side.
I was kind of like, wait a minute. I mix my drinks in this, but you keep yours in the podcast, and you don't mix your drinks in
'Cause
it.
we
I was
have
almost
two
offended.
now.
Because we
You
have
have two.
two.
And it one actually is set for in the bar, so we do use it as a shaker. But this one is just a perfect decor for the podcast. So yeah, and so I was like, no, we're not taking it back. Where did she got it at the someplace in Bend, right?
Yeah.
World Market or
Was
something.
it
No,
on
no,
Etsy?
it was-
Like, she's doing
No, it was
something-
some.
No,
It's
no,
some
no.
like it was some like it's like some like hipster like niche shop that was like
No,
downtown.
No, I thought it was
Bend.
I thought it was at World Market. That's not hipster. That's
I didn't
just.
think it was. Was it where? Well, we can let Mom say where
Is
she
this
got
as
it.
basic as Word Market? Because that's really cool. I thought it was more clever than that.
I think she found it at that furniture shop downtown.
Oh,
She
maybe.
got it.
Okay, so I have one last topic for the hangover.
Okay. Yeah.
One last topic. So my next tattoo.
Yes.
So we know the outline is on the bicep area, but
Yeah,
William
okay.
Herschel's, thing of the universe. But I need to find something to fill in that gap, to fill in the outline. So if it looks like a bug splatter, as Jack has said, and I wanted the individual stars in there, but then the tattoo artist said, no, that's stupid. So I need to find something else to fill in the outline.
Well, first of all, the tattoo artist, I mean, granted they're an artist, but they don't understand the...
No, I get that, because I can't do the individual stars. So it needs to be some kind of...
Well, they are going to smear. They're going to smear over time.
Right. So at this point, I do need to find something that's... Oh, Liz just gave a fucking look.
I didn't. I was just looking at him.
Oh, sorry. It looked like a really solid look.
No.
I
was thinking that you can have little stars that are fine because there's sleeves that have little stars as like filler.
So if you look at the bug splatter image of the William Herschel outline, but I still want the outline. But then I was either thinking Ptolemy, sun in the middle, and generic Greek orbits around the sun, or
inside the galaxy.
Inside the outline, so it looks like a bug splatter. So like it would be cut off in certain areas.
Jack says nebula filaments would be forgiving.
Yeah, but you see, I think,
or I don't know if like a watercolor.
The problem is I think
or...
at this point you're starting to lose what the actual outline is, and so then it just looks like you're outlining just random stuff, and you lose the significance of what that outline is.
So that
right now. Couple of drinks in, not a lot to eat today. You just get the fucking stars, man. Sure, it's gonna smear a little bit, and it is a bunch of little dots.
But that smearing is like when you're
All right, how true do you want to be?
It would not be. If I wanted it true, there's no way in hell, because there are like hundreds and hundreds of tiny dots there.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. So you won't do hundreds, but you're going to fill it with dots.
Stencil sketching, in which is like a bunch of tiny little dots all over the place. But I don't know what that takes after 20 years. Like after 5 minutes, it would look fabulous. But
it's going to smear. Smear's not the right. Is that the right word?
No, like it's gonna
bleed into.
I think
it's gonna bleed.
It's gonna bleed. So.
So do I want either a bunch of tiny dots of stars, or do I want an image within that shape? Because no one's gonna know what the fuck it is if I have a bunch of little dots. So either way, I'm going to explain it, which is what this is. I love explaining this.
Right. So I go back to my question that I was trying to ask: is how true do you want to be to the original image?
I want the shape. I don't care about the image inside.
Okay. Well then, all right. So if you don't care what's inside, then you can do whatever the hell you want to do. So, what were your options again?
It was like a Ptolemaic model of the galaxy, which is like the sun and the Earth in the center, and the sun and Mercury going off for that. Or like the first image from, was it John Thompson? Who was the first person to sketch what a black hole may look like? The guy who thought of a black hole in the first place.
Mitchell?
Was it Mitchell?
John Mitchell? He was.
Yeah, so he has this fabulous stencil image of what a black hole would look like. I would love that within the shape of the universe.
Dark star.
Because that would look really cool.
All right, let's see what Jack says. It looks like took a while to do. Blue lines finely spaced, but you see the finely spaced is going to bleed into each other. So 60 degrees, rotate for red lines, rotate another 60 degrees, black lines. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Well, but those lines, they're gonna bleed.
Well, it depends on how spaced they are. It's like, because I mean, it's if
but
they're in space.
He said they're finely spaced, so
and they're in space, so they're gonna be spaced.
Okay. It's gonna smear over time.
I mean, I think it would be. I mean, because even my tattoo of my grandpa's signature from a card. I mean, There's been some bleeding, but I mean the lines.
Well, that's a good looking
stayed
tattoo, though.
fairly.
It is really good, but I
It's
think
really cool.
Stayed fairly good.
I mean, eventually, I think you might have to have. I think have them go back over.
Well, we need them to go back over just to darken the color on our
Yeah.
equation there, but
Yeah. But so yeah, I'm still thinking:
I
do I
gotta go with this.
want individual stars, a black hole, or the other option was I love the image of missions sent out from Earth to other planets, and you can see like each individual orbit of the missions. I would love that in the shape of William Herschel's universe.
Hold on, real quick though. All right, Jack, go have fun with that with the bears and
oh yeah,
enjoy the sushi.
Bye,
tell
Jack.
the bears we say hi, and they maybe have a new cub.
What?
I said tell the bears they maybe have a new cub.
All right. Brandon's like,
No, plural of cubs is cubbies, so I'm happy.
and you know, the country might not like LGBTQ people, but we do. So.
Okay, so here's another gripe I have. Since we're in the hangover, and we need to end it soon because it's been a very long hangover.
Yeah.
All right, last gripe. So I was watching a little news segment about new pictures of the James Webb. They're going through Jupiter and Saturn and the far galaxy. And then in the segment that had the advertisement, it was somebody named like Jessica Gonzalez, and it was pure fucking hatred. Like, what did I click on that made YouTube think I want to watch this? It was just pure hatred. It was pure fucking hatred.
Is this for like a representative or like a politician?
They were talking about the recent Pride parades and oh my god. Okay,
no.
So I don't watch YouTube. So all I do for YouTube is like space shit. But YouTube came on and talked about how these creatures of LGBT were parading themselves in front of children, and I fucking couldn't. I watched 5 minutes because I was like, okay, what the fuck is happening? And it was pure vitriol. And all I do is watch space shit on YouTube. How is that giving YouTube the thought he wants to watch pure hate?
They paid some money to get that in.
It was insane. No, like, Jesus Christ. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I have tried to be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. I mean, it's this July 4th is a bit of a rough time,
especially after last week. Yes,
given what transpired. I can't be quiet. It's hard for me to celebrate the birth of a nation when that nation has just the court in this nation has just allowed for people to discriminate against people like me. This country has said it's okay to not like people like me, so why should I celebrate this country's birth? And so I was going to try to be quiet.
Go on
about it the whole time. It was a rough couple of days for Supreme Court decisions. But one of them, well, two of them in particular, one that doesn't apply to me in any kind of way, but because I'm white in this country, but the other one does. And, you know, it's hard for me. I am waiting to be told Happy July 4th from certain people, and all I can do is just say you too.
Happy Hot Dog and Hamburger Day.
Well,
that's what we do. We're celebrating the food.
That's exactly what it is. But the Supreme Court basically just said that it's okay to discriminate against people. That means
we can discriminate right back against them.
Yeah, but you know, and as far as affirmative action goes, I do understand. I get how there are people who want to just have this country be so badly they want the U.S. to be colorblind, and we all want that. However, the reality of the situation
We're not there
is
yet.
the reality of this situation is that racism still is alive and well in this country. And so it's dueling fucking cases with the Supreme Court. And one, they say, no, this country needs to be colorblind and race should not be a factor. And then the other one, it's like, oh, but you can discriminate. It's fine to discriminate. And so I did listen to a liberal commentator on the affirmative action case from the Supreme Court. And he said, hopefully what this is going to do is it's going to turn it from, race-based decisions, because that just can't happen now, to socioeconomic things where you have more people that don't have the monetary means to get into some of these colleges.
Being all about the money, will just follow the money.
Well, that's what they do now. What did I tell you? Because he gave, you got a scratch. He gave a
Leia.
Oh, what did he say? It was something like 8 times. There's 8 times more rich people in school than poor people. Mm-hmm. It was a high number. And so maybe it'll at least address that. But it's been a rough couple of days.
Mm-hmm. And we get over that by drinking and killing demons.
Or doing Star Wars stuff.
Or doing Star Wars.
You're both on the earlier, so I appreciate that. Jedi Survivor. You're both on earlier today. So I can see what you're playing.
He was playing Jedi. He was playing Jedi. It always shows me on.
It said Mike and Liz.
Yeah, it shows because it's on the same console and I'm logged in. But I was playing Doom earlier.
She was playing Diablo.
Doom, nice.
I'm sorry, not Doom. I'm sorry, not Doom. I was playing Diablo.
Yeah, she was on Diablo.
I'm finally level 50. I got there.
I got there too. I'm there.
I know, you got there like a week ago.
Yeah.
I'm still whatever the hell I was.
You're Jediing. You're Jediing.
But I've been doing Jedi. I finally conquered this thing that it took me just such a long time just to be able to make the jump.
What's your milestone? So I'm assuming you're ahead of me at this point. So we talked to the Old Republic droid.
I meant what?
The Old Republic droid.
He just had a fight with Vader.
Oh, Jesus Christ! No, you're way ahead of me. I haven't got to get Vader yet.
Yeah. So.
Hell yeah.
But however you do fight Vader as a different character. So I'm not going to say what character it is.
I'll need to work with this. Okay.
Yeah, but you do. At least where I'm at right now, you do fight Vader. And because earlier today I defeated somebody, and I was like, who's the bad guy? And so that got answered pretty quickly, and then through this whole thing you end up fighting Vader. I don't want to give too much away to you, but I'm really enjoying it.
And that was video games with Brandon and Mike.
Video games
this
with
episode of The Hangover.
But you're like all into Diablo.
It's still a lot of fun. I like the music. But it's still, I will say, it's still not as good as Diablo 2. I fucking love Diablo. If you ever want to get back into the remastered version, we will go through that hands down.
I think I started Diablo 3, and I just remember it being really short.
No, Diablo 2 is my cornerstone of gaming. If you want to play it, I'll go with you.
Is it my World of Warcraft?
It is. It is your World of Warcraft. That's
ironic. Also made by Blizzard.
You know what I read yesterday?
Go Dog Go.
They're gonna redo Black Flag.
I saw that. They're gonna remaster it for the new generation.
Oh, but no, this is a new Black Flag game. It's very early.
Punk. It's very punk.
It's very early in the process, so it'll be at least 2 or 3 years before it comes out. But if it's true, I am so excited about that. And if it's remastered, then I'm getting that, and I'll just play it. It's my favorite video game.
I like the Black Flag theme.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great theme.
All right, let's take us home.
All right, we've done a lot of just
Oh, we're all over the map.
All over the
been a while
map.
since we caught up.
Well, it's
We
been
had
a
to catch up.
good. It's been a good. Yeah, it was a little bit more chit chat than a hangover, but still hangover territory. And which, thanks for joining us for the hangover, anyone, and our shenanigans. We appreciate it. Of course, you can follow us on all the things at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter and
What's our
Cosmos.
what's our mastodon or in a blue sky?
No, we're not that.
Don't.
Liz, what did you do?
Oh no, because they're stuck on by Velcro.
Oh.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Hangover.
Watch us on all the things.
Watch us on all the things, and you can find us on anywhere you listen to your podcast, like Spotify and Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts, or check us out on YouTube. And we'll see you next time.
See you in 2 weeks, everybody. Cheers.
Bye, everybody. It's been fun.
And
We're not out yet.
Bye.
Oh my goodness! I was gonna say now that we're done.
We're not done yet. Now
on
we're
Plex,
done. Now we're done.
There's Steven Universe. I cannot recommend watching it enough. It's
What
just a
is it?
fabulous